passion play, yeah. If I die before I wake, I think I got an even break.
Okay.
Oh, say, man, are you still alive? 'Cause I heard your ship was sinking. Back in town, but you sold me down. Oh, man, I know the feeling. I'm talking about it. Who got the fire? Who got the fire? Who got the fire?
Go side by side in his mirror. You play with the bottom here. Stay with the bottom. Big wreck in your mirror. Big wreck in your mirror. Oh no! Oh my God! That looks awful.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TARNATION TV, live broadcasting here on a Saturday evening. The All-Star Racing League at Talladega. We're at Talladega. Imagine that, right? It's a premier Superspeedway series here. It's a Saturday night series these guys run. So, yeah, Season 2 kicks off now. And thank you for joining us. As always, my name is Blaine Donlan, joined by Rod Weston.
Yep, back at it again. After a couple of weeks off, we had a tribute race for Bob Dixon there. Got a PRL race in there, and now we're back at it for another 10 weeks, I believe. Can't give you much points information. It's the first race of the new season.
First race, the easiest one. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any points information right now. I'm not sure. I've been kind of looking through the field to see how many, familiar drivers or any new drivers. I see Denny Carroll's come back for this season. That's good to see. So I'm kind of still going through to figure out who's here, who's going to be here. But it'll be a fun one. And these guys, they're building this up on Saturday. And Brian Wolf was down here talking to us earlier. And, they're kind of hoping that pretty soon they might have to do knockout qualifying. I don't know if I'd want to go quite that far, but, they got a great group of guys here. I don't know if I'd want to build it up too much more as it is.
Yeah, great group of guys. As always, they're using a great track. Rolling Thunder Gaming has the Talladega version 4. This is the one with the widened out pit road. They used this last season as well. So we've seen them use all 5 or 6 of those lanes down there. It's pretty wild pit stops. And yeah, it's a cool track. John Godfrey responsible for that. Denny missed a few races last season. So yeah, it's good to see him back in here again. Full house pretty much tonight. According to my count, we got like 28 guys in here right now. So you know what? On a random Saturday in April, here we are again, filling the place up.
We just see us out there just going through the cars. I see the 85 Josh Two's with us tonight too. One of the guys over to SMO, but he's comes over here and races once in a while. It'd be kind of nice to see him try to get over here and run for a championship. That'd be a neat little thing for him.
Yeah, a few guys too. Like I see Chris Van Vliet in the YouTube chat couldn't make it today. Katarina Balzer in the YouTube chat going, "What in tarnation?" That's where he got it from. Yosemite Sam, man. He's responsible for the name of this whole thing. And I probably told the story where it actually came from, because I was using it as a name a while ago for something, and that never came to be. And then I was like, well, what can I call this channel? And went back and grabbed that tarnation word. And it's weird because it's a word, I think, but it's not when you Google stuff, there's not a whole lot of things that come up. So that's kind of the goal. If you're going for an online name, you got to come up with something cool, like, it's funny. Like there's a guy I watch on YouTube. He's like a military simulator fan, like Ghost Recon style games, Rainbow Six style games, those shooters, Ready or Not, all those. Brad and I, previous co-host here on TARNATION, we've been playing those games for decades. And guy's channel is just called Big Fry. So it's easy to remember,
Yep.
and you got to come up with something neat, and somehow TARNATION just fit.
Yeah. Didn't know that's why you called it TARNATION TV. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there was a... Are we in happy? No, we're in practice. There was years ago, it was, what was it? Half-Life video game for the computer.
Yep.
Was out, and it became very moddable. It was kind of like, early to mid 90s almost, that the original Half-Life was a very moddable video game engine, and they allowed that to happen. It was almost like open source. They were inviting people to just make stuff. And when Half-Life 2 came out, also came an upgrade to the engine, and it was called the Source Engine, which was like Day of Defeat. It was a war game I used to play, a World War II game, online co-op, kind of like Counter-Strike, but, World War II stuff. And that was where the TARNATION thing... Oh, I forgot to delete some things on the broadcast here. That's cool. Anyway, long story short, I was working on a map because I used to make maps for like Counter-Strike and Day of Defeat. And the name of oh man, I just broke the broadcast again. Well, not really. I'm just trying to streamline some stuff. Stop clicking stuff, Blaine. Gosh. Yep. But you know what? Let's just quit the game. That's probably the easiest way to do it. That way we don't break it. But yeah, anyway, I used to I created a map for Counter-Strike Source, and it was called Sackhammer. People still play it today. Like 25 years later, I'll just randomly Google that map name, and people still play it.
And I can honestly say now I know why your name is Sackhammer in Valheim.
In Valheim, yeah, because that was also my World of Warcraft guy. My World of Warcraft soldier name was Sackhammer as well. And then the map got on the front page of a bunch of like modding websites and stuff. It was pretty awesome. I was like, wow,
that's cool.
I made it. It was all by myself. Didn't have any help. Took me about 8 months to make that map. Troubleshooted it, tested it, optimized it, made sure it worked. So that's why people use it. It won the front page on some websites because it actually worked properly and had lots of detail in it, and it was pretty cool. So here we go into Day of Defeat. Let's make a World War II one. What am I going to call it? Well, I called it TARNATION, but I never finished it. So that was the reason for that. It was like, well, came back around again. Like here we are, in 2020 or whenever this channel started. What can I call that channel? Then you go back looking at old stuff. Like, I never released that TARNATION map. That's I should use that name.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, people remember it, right? It's easy to remember. It's easy to say. It's fun. It's, and of course, Yosemite Sam. That's the whole point of that, too. Because who doesn't love Bugs Bunny and Tweety Show?
I grew up on it.
I think everybody did.
Yep. No, not these new millennials. They had, we had to wait until Saturday morning and, at a specific time to watch the cartoon that you wanted to watch. Now, there's Cartoon Network. You get cartoons all day long. So,
well, when you think about the conversation that Katarina Balzer spawned, you think about the original Looney Tunes. Like came out in like the 40s or the 50s, right?
Yep.
So I always remembered in like the 80s, like watching that cartoon with my dad, who probably watched it in the 50s when he was a kid, because he was born in like 54. So he would have watched it growing up too. Same show, vintage, classic, and like such a good show. It never gets old. That's a show you could watch over and over and over again, and it's always funny.
I was just looking at Josh 2's car. I had to take a closer look at it. Obviously, it's Josh's eggs.
Yep.
But it's cute.
Yeah, we're just booting up Recam here, so we'll get some drone style going on the 85, apparently, is what you're asking.
It's kind of a neat looking little ride.
Let's take a look at it. There we go. Now we got everything working. Or not. There it is. Oh, I've seen that one before.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he'll modify that one onto trucks and stuff too, which is kind of cool. I'm pretty sure. I do like that car. It's very cool. I think that's a Rodney design. Yes, it is. Rodney Sullins Paint Factory, in memory of Danny Hardy, on the side of the car. And yeah,
it's cool. It just caught my eye.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Because it's, you know, we were just talking about like Looney Tunes and cartoons and stuff, and it's basically like you just pull that right out of like a comic book.
And then you got Javier Negron tonight. He's out there in the Traveler's Whiskey car, so it's a kind of a nod to the Dale Jr. Cup team that run, you know, at Daytona the last couple of years in the Daytona 500.
Okay.
The driver, my favorite O'Reilly series driver driving is Justin Allgaier. So that's, you know, it's a Toyota, it's not a Chevy, but it's just a tribute kind of to that. Cool.
Who's in the 16 in front of him?
That
Bobby
Farrow. Yeah, I was just going to say that. I saw on Facebook where you put the post up, but it was a post that it was kind of a funny post, more of a, well, guess we have to dig out the backup car, and that was the picture that he had.
That's fun because he's usually number 7. Same font too. I think he uses the same number style. But
that's
literally there's
Richard
nothing
Petty.
on this. Oh, is that what the
Richard
same
Petty
font?
Yeah.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, because he's usually rolling with an STP car.
Yeah.
I was going to say that the fact that he doesn't have a car for the Monster Energy 2019 mod is mind-boggling, but that's kind of neat to see an unsponsored ride out there.
Just kind of like going through the field there. Robert Springs got a new ride, you know, this for the next new season.
I just finished that one this morning for him.
Yeah.
I changed it. I was working on this thing for him, and then I decided to scrap it. It was getting too colorful. So as you can see, I rolled it back. 2 colors, blue and orange, yellow, late yellowy orange.
Danny Carroll's driving the same car, I believe, that he drove last year, so that he didn't change. Billy Elser's got out his Coors Light car tonight, which is a nice looking ride.
Classic ASR with the Coors.
Yeah. He digs that out every once in a while. Most of the time he's running around in his, I think it's a Flintstones car.
Sometimes Flintstones, yeah.
Dale Selinsky's got a new ride, Country Chime Lemonade in the Toyota.
Now I'm thirsty. That's a nice one too, yeah, very nice and simple.
I got my lemonade there. No, Country Chime, sorry, but Minute Maid right beside me. ASR hood's back.
Something's wrong with the headlights.
Light brush.
On Selinsky's car. I wonder if maybe he put that car on the wrong make.
Could be.
Yeah, it looks like the hood's not lined up. The rest of it looks fine though.
Yeah.
What was that noise? Somebody's spinning out.
I'm just watching the cars. Mike Brush and Chuck McClure had a little fender bender there on the backstretch during practice. It's just there's a group of cars there. HUD, Paul says that, Selinsky, Josh too.
Yeah, I'm just using a standard Splash and Go 4, but I mean, if you're going to use something from Splash and Go, you're never going to go wrong. They make awesome stuff. I think they've even got the pace car tonight. Because I think this mod defaults to a Splash and Go sponsored pace car. Yeah, we're not in a race scenario yet, so we can't see the pace car, but
29
looks back. Cody Bombas in his typical 48 Bulls Chevrolet.
Oh, one sec, Rob. We got Wolf calling to me here. What's up, Wolf? Go ahead.
I just wanted to let you know I'm driving the old Tarnation TV throwback tonight.
Of course, Mike,
car we started out with
there in the sunny delight. That's the same ride
sweet.
from
Thanks,
last
dude.
season.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Just looking at cars.
I'm out here now.
Okay, Ricky back in his McDonald's car.
Oh man, check it out. The 29. He's rocking the original Tarnation TV logo. That's
29.
When Brian and I started this channel like 5 or 6 years ago. He designed the logos, and I was implementing it. While I was building the broadcast, he was doing all the art design. So that's the original Tarnation TV logo before I redesigned it to
That's
be that
cool.
triangle shaped thing you see. That's awesome. Helix got that black flag. Jim
That's
Anderson.
pretty cool.
Oh, Branstead is still driving my car too. I got a couple out here tonight.
I was going to say that when you brought the attention over to Brian Wolf, I was just kind of going through the field. I mean, we don't have points to talk about. It's first race of the season. Just looking to see, who's back, and what rides they're running, whether they get new rides, whether they get old, just checking things out.
You need rides, we got rides. Mangiolari running Sunny Delight. If you're thirsty tonight, we got lemonade, we got Sunny D, we got all kinds of stuff.
Coors Light.
Yeah, whiskey, Coors Light, yep.
Tim Anderson back in his familiar 33 tracker boats.
Another really cool one. You get used to the style on a guy's car too, right? Like he's got that blue. And it's weird to say it, but like there's different like tints and hues and pigments of colors, right? And if a guy sticks to the one color, you don't even need to look at the car. Yep. You could see him coming from a mile, like literally from the other side of the track, and you'd know it was Tim because he runs that blue, and you can see it without even seeing the numbers. You know it's him. Most
of the time like that, you can see Tim like that, and the same like we were talking before. Bobby Farrell, always the kind of the petty blue. So, you get used to that. Brandsteaders run that pretty much. I don't think I've ever seen Steven in another car. I think he's always in that 510 that you painted him, as far as I can remember, for the couple of seasons and stuff that we've been doing this. And even some of the other, when they had the other league running on a Saturday night there, when Brandstetter was there, I was actually, unfortunately, got into him. Jessica Lorley was leading. He was not leading the run. We were leading the high side groove. He was in second and I was in third. And I was really trying to help him out, and I ended out helping him out a little bit too much in the corner. But
I made a truck for him as well, Camping World Series truck as well. I designed it on the car, and then I moved it to the truck. I believe the truck though doesn't have the curled up headlights on the front to make it look like mean demon eyes. I don't believe the truck would look right like that. I can't remember if I did that or not, but I kind of gave the headlights a meaner look. But so you see that coming in your rearview mirror.
Yeah.
Move over.
Do we know? I forget last season or how it worked out, because I know last season it was 1 week of qualifying, next week was random. I don't remember if it was odd on the random or even, or what the qualifying order is on the second. I don't know really what's changed as far as the rules per se. I don't know if much has. I'm sure we're going to have Brian up here during happy hour to give us a little insight. So we need to find out just that kind of what if anything has changed, probably per se rules, regs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know one thing's for certain, but thank you to Bryant Motorsports Auto Sales for sponsoring the race. They always are so awesome to hook us up. They wanted to bring us in here exclusively, so they locked us down here on Saturday nights. And, super cool to actually have a sponsor. Sometimes, in certain leagues we weren't able to broadcast some weeks because, if they're unable to pay for it, that's not a lot of money, but like most leagues are able to get a couple bucks from every driver to have a little bit of a purse on the edge there so they can, fund the race service and the broadcasts. And, they basically soaked up the whole season.
It's cool. I mean, it's not a tremendous expense, but it is an expense. It does cost to have a server. I'm not sure what it costs through Racer LM, but they do. They have a server that runs through Racer LM. They have a TeamSpeak, and that costs money too. So, a lot of leagues don't do a lot of broadcasting because it's literally not in the budget. You got to depend on pretty much donations and stuff like that. Well, it's great when you got a sponsor that takes care of that part of it. We're here every Saturday for them, broadcasting these races live, and that's the reason why they have somebody that takes care of that for them. Yeah,
very cool. And again, thanks to Bryant Motorsport Auto Sales. We'll take a look at their commercial. We're still running the same commercial, but it is cool.
Still think they need to make a new one with the girls living now. But
Yeah, the girls are all, they're adults now, and they probably got girls, like, daughters or sons of their own that they could use to do another, to cut us another commercial, which would be kind of funny. But yeah, no, thanks to those guys for doing that. We'll try our best this season to get most of the races broadcasted, but now that the weather's getting a little bit nicer, the wife and I might be busy on Saturday evenings. So, I mean, if it's...
No, I'll be 4 weekends. For 4 weeks, I'll be busy, but not necessarily in a row, but we got 4 night races.
Yeah, you guys do the tracks are opening back up too for your kart team.
Want to run that commercial real quick, and then we'll get Brian up here, and we'll go through the qualifying order.
Let's do it. Yeah, they got a 10-minute happy hour. We will be talking to Brian for the last 5 minutes. So yeah, let's take a look at the commercial here, and then we'll get back at you.
Get this car for Grandma. Me too. He got it at Bryant Motorsports on High Street in Portsmouth. She's really gonna love it. I know, right? If you need a car, give us a call at 393-2600. That's 393-2600.
All right. Thanks again, Bryant Motorsport Auto Sales. Fly around this track here. As you can see, wider pit road. This lane here was only half as wide, because it was kind of like you got your pit stalls, you got this double lane here, and this was just a single lane. Well, John Godfrey moved her out a bit. And my, oh my, do they use it.
Yeah, makes a difference.
Oh,
but
man.
They
were coming in here 4 wide on Thursday, because we run with Flat Out Racing Network calling the race the Talladega Challenge at RTG, as you can see there with the logos. We're running that on Thursday, and they came down one time. They were like 4, almost 5 wide coming into the pits, and there was no issues.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it works.
It works,
again, like you say, they pave it, they're going to use it, and they definitely use it.
Well, it works, but like I always say, you gotta. That's why they put grass in the infields, because if you were making an asphalt, we try to figure out a way to use it. So even though it does work better, they still do have issues sometimes. But it makes it a lot better when you've got the ability, like you said, the ability to run 5 wide versus coming in there and trying to only be able to run 3 wide. So that does definitely make a big difference.
Yeah, tonight it's looking with 35 people attached to the server, 2 of them being us. So it looks like we're going to have around 30 to 33 drivers, possibly. I know one of those might 31? Be the server, right?
Going through qualifying, taking out 2 drivers, that's 31 drivers for tonight.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Unreal.
Yep. And that's about, we've had them usually about that. And then, there's a few races last season that, I forget, one of them there was something going on. It
was a holiday.
Valentine's Day was one, but there was remarkably there was a lot more of them here. And then it was something else. I forget what it was. The Super Bowl, or not a Super Bowl. Could have been the race. The real race was on the Cup race was on a Saturday night. So we went down to we dropped down to like what, high 20s.
That's
so
what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. They still had a lot more people.
They were averaging 30 to 40, and then that race maybe they had 25, which is still lots to have an exciting race.
Okay, so they're done with their driver's meeting, so let's see if we can find Brian Wolf and get him down here, hopefully not in the middle of talking. Brian Wolf, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I most certainly do have a copy. Affirmative.
Well, we
Roger,
always bring you
Roger.
down here. You can thank your sponsors and stuff, and tell us a little bit about tonight. I have one question before you really go into it. What if any changes have been made from season 1 to season 2? You know, just what are we looking at, of anything new at all, or is it basically the cut and paste and run it as it was last week because it worked?
Well, actually, there's a couple of rules things going on. We're basically scoring the same exact way. We are going to allow provisionals this season, and we've also added one incident to the how would you say penalty phase of these trials. So if you get up to 3 incidents on the season, then that means that's a DNQ. 4 goes to 1 week parked, and the 5th one you're parked for the rest of the season. With a 10-week season, it's a little difficult to get there, but
You gave a little more
we've
room.
designed it. Yeah, we've designed it that way to kind of fit in with our points. We had this conversation this past week with a couple of the guys that as far as the provisionals go, I mean, one provisional per 10 race thing with a total points collection. It's not exactly a death sentence, but if you're going for championships, but you really have to do a lot to make up for that. But if you missed last season, if you missed one without a provisional, you were done. You know what I mean? So we fixed that up a little bit. Other than that, we're basically the same. This is inaugural race number 1 of season 2. And we've got a huge crowd tonight. And it's just, I was telling these guys just a minute ago, this thing is gaining traction, man. This is the elite series for the elite drivers. And, we don't call it Premier for nothing.
Yeah, people love Talladega, man. I mean, you can provide, especially on a Saturday, it's a busy night, and, trying to soak up drivers to come to your league on a Saturday night in this community is not an easy thing to do, but it looks like you've got like 33 or something, 31 guys on the track tonight, so it's pretty much a full house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're getting there, man. It's going to be fun. And, these guys are kind of, we have drivers from all over the community, actually. There's some RTG guys here, some PRL guys here, our own ASR guys are here. And they're all Superspeedway, drivers, and they all have a ton of experience. And it's going to make for some exciting racing, man. This is going to be fun.
So I even got one from SMO.
Yeah, as I say, Josh is out here too. Yep.
Yeah, and he's no slouch. I mean, well, he's a tremendous slouch. But
yeah, that's another league we forget.
But, he's
SMO
no,
20 plus years.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so he's no stranger to winning these races, and he knows what to do. You know what I mean? And man, I'm excited for this because we've got a pretty diversified group here, so to speak, as far as where they come from in the racing community. So it's going to be interesting, as we go along to see who goes where.
So I got a question for you. The Cannon Hinnant race that we ran was a donation. We were doing donations, a little fundraiser thing going on there. And update us on that deal, because we don't know numbers, but you probably do.
Yeah, I wanted the opportunity not only to thank our sponsors for this series here. Bryant Motorsports has been tremendous. Dave Chin and that whole group, that make this happen for us, and we couldn't be more blessed. But last week we ran the 6th annual Cannon Hinnant Memorial End Gun Violence 120, and this year we were actually we raised close to $800 for the Ride on Cannon Foundation. And those folks, bottom line is, because I only have a few seconds left here, is we provided some new bicycles for some kids that might not otherwise be able to get them. So that makes us feel really good. And we're really proud of that. And you guys did such a tremendous job at that, donating your time and really covering that race really good for us. So we want to thank you guys and thank everybody who donated and tuned in and watched us, do what we do. And we had a lot of fun, and that's about all the time I have. I have 2 seconds to get down there.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian.
Sorry about the timing, guys.
Yeah, no problem. It worked out perfect.
You got to get that. You got to get that. Old ancient Tarnation TV car to the front and to the wind. So.
Oh yeah. We did mention that earlier too.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fun car to drive. I'm going to keep it on here for a few weeks, but I got 28 seconds. So Oh, Ken's whispering at me.
Go do your thing, buddy. Have a good luck tonight, man. It's going to be a good one.
Good luck.
Thank you, guys. We
Stay out of
did do
trouble.
a random qualifying tonight. We did the popcorn thing. So starting 16th tonight, hopefully we'll get that TARNATION TV on TARNATION TV later on tonight. I'll see you guys.
All right. Good luck, bud.
Thanks, Brian.
That was
He's
good.
got me on whisper just in case he needs to talk to me.
Yeah, I don't know if I think I get Vim on there. Let me check. I have him and you on there, so.
Right. Yeah, we should get that linked up so he's actually got you
Yeah.
and me on the same button, because when he's talking to me and you're talking, you can't hear him. So then you don't know when I'm done talking to him, and then we start stepping on each other. But I always just try to holler at you, like, oh, hey, I'm talking to Brian right now, and then that way you can do your thing, or whatever. It's not the end of the world. All right, they are gridding up.
Don't jump out.
Drivers, to
Yeah.
your car.
Are you live?
You live. That's the next one. That's exactly what I was going to say. A quick, we'll try to go through the qualifying order, random qualifying for tonight. On the pole was going to be Nate Balzer. Outside of him, Mike Mangialardi. Starting in third, Mark Paglia. Starting fourth, Dale Solinsky. In the new country time ride tonight. Starting in fifth, it would be Chuck McClure, and that's a Jack Daniels car. And then sixth, ASR David Chin. Seventh, Robert Breedlove. Eighth, Steve Brandstetter, and that is in the Blaine Donnellan painted car. Ninth will be that Blaine Donnellan guy, but he's going to have to get out of the way for the guys behind him. That 10th is ASR Hub. 11th, Bobby Farrell. 12th, Javier Negron. 13th, Dennis McCarthy. 14th, Denny Carroll's back with us. 15th, Robert Spring. 16th, Brian Wolf. We just talked with him. 17th, Pat Kursky. 18th is John Godfrey, the track whisperer.
Yeah.
We got to say that about him. 19th is Randy Waugh. 20th is Greg Lovell. 21st is Ken Roberts. 22nd is Mike Brush. 23rd is in the 23 is Doug Hillick. 24th is Billy Elliser. 25th is Brian Rasson. 26th, Josh 2. 27th is Dave Little. 28th, Dante Ricky. I said it right.
Yep.
And then me starting in 29th, which is not going to do any good for them. 30th is Tim Anderson. 31st, Perry Bond. 26th, Cody Lamas. And rounding out the field tonight is Terry Babard.
I couldn't remember what the pace car was. Big Evil.
I was just curious to see. I haven't seen it yet. It doesn't. Oh, I got the same one.
It
Yep.
randomizes, yeah. It's like it's on a cycle of some kind. I don't know how that works, but
Yeah, but I wasn't sure which. Sometimes mine's different than yours, so I was
yeah.
like,
And
just looking to
sometimes
see
I
if it
get
was
the
the
blue
same.
and yellow splash and go one, and then this is Big Evil design. What I think is Big Evil still doing stuff?
I have no idea.
Yeah, because they had that was another modding team that really did provide a lot for the community with paint schemes and stuff.
Just kind of think here for a minute. Drivers that were, missing. Red Palmer's not in the field tonight. Think of any others that are, that will be here probably, just didn't make it here tonight.
Yeah, that's a big name.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We've got 35 guys on track or something, and
We'll see who's going to be take the points lead down the first race. 'Cause usually, probably, good chance you win the race. You're going to be the points leader coming after tonight. Pace car makes the trip down pit road. See who gets the better jump on the start here. What do you think, Mangialardi or Nate Balzer? I think probably Balzer's. Jonas Chevrolet, he's going to have more power, right?
yeah, it would have been nice to see it.
I tell you,
Just crashed.
that Chevy power pulling right away. I think Mangialardi kind of fell asleep on the stop there. I don't know if he was in the right gear or not. Balzer making a trip up to the high side real quick. I don't know if I would have gone quite that quick. That bottom line's got a really good run going, but that's the line they want to be in. They want to be on that outside line, or the middle line, not necessarily outside, but real early. Balzer's just planning his race out, planning ahead. amazing. You look back there, you see Robert Spring come from the bottom, go to the top. Then you see Brian Wolf behind him, go from the top, go to the bottom. Every driver has a, like myself racing on this, I'm not a big fan of the bottom. I feel it's a little tight on the exit of 2. I like it a lot more comfortable in the second groove and even more in the high groove. So it's funny how some drivers just like that tighter feel in the car and will actually search out the bottom,
Yeah, it's just, depending on wheel settings and whatnot too, right? It's some guys just like to race down there. I'm all about the top.
Oh, Chuck McClure gets stuck in the sucker hole. Rob Breedlove was coming in from the bottom. Mark Paglia left Chuck McClure and headed down to the bottom to get in front of that momentum. And Chuck has got nobody with him, with cars on either side of him. He's just going to go back until he can find an opening where he can stick in car back in there. But don't count him out. He'll be back. Oh, no. Paglia's around. Not sure if it was off the front bumper or what happened, but just kind of saw him. I was just looked over that way and I see him kind of look like he might have got a little bit of a bump draft. Just sent him out around in front of everybody. And melee happens in lap 3.
Yeah.
Immediately, unfortunately, for Mark Paglia is disconnected and out of the server. Somebody's hung up on the fence.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw somebody get up there. That looks like it might be Javier. I can't really tell. Yeah, it is.
It was some cars that were out there flying without a pilot's license. They were airborne. I see there's another one that's not there tonight. I just checked the chat. Rodney Sullins hated that he missed tonight. There was somebody else. I'm trying to think. I said, there's another. And I've been talking with Rodney off and on all day. I should have remembered him. Talking with him about coming in there and racing. Actually doing some racing at Talladega and the Talladega Challenge Series on Thursday night. Looks like them guys have a lot of fun. I am not a Superspeedway driver, but how do you get better at it? You go race it.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, Javier got his car stuck in the catch fence. I wonder if they're going to be able to repair that thing.
I have no idea. That thing took out hard.
He's gone. Yeah. Yeah, there's
and
nothing.
And then showing up, you get your new ride, showing up your new ride. Make lap 3 and you're done. I mean,
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate. It was a nice looking car. Yeah, nice looking car too. I mean, like I said earlier, I'm a big Justin Allgaier fan, so. Oh, I just looked over at the broadcast. You were zooming the drone right across the top of it, and I'm looking at it going, what in the heck are you looking at?
What are we looking at?
It's the scratches all along the top of the car.
Yeah, the roof was gone.
Yeah.
The doors were gone. The trunk, the hood, everything was gone. So, unfortunately, Mark Paglia and Javier Negron are out of the race already.
Doesn't look like any of the guys up front pitted. Only 3 laps into it, so there's a few drivers that did. They start playing strategy early. I mean, Robert Breedlove, Nate Balzer, Brandstetter, they're, Farrell, Mangiolati, they're all up there in the front. They're, sometimes they, like you and I always have the debate whether or not you want to be up front or do you want to be, in the back. And really, it depends. Where you don't want to be is in the middle of it. You really, you don't want to be in the middle because if something happens, usually there's not too many places to go. You prefer to be on the front, and that's probably why the guys up front stayed out there, because for them it's a little bit safer this early in the race. Guys,
that's probably a strategy. A little bit off sequence too, right? They get to go a little bit early, depending on yellows, of course. Benjamin Snyder in the YouTube chat, they're letting us know, Big Evil Racing is owned by Chad McCouch. I hope I'm saying that right. It looks Polish. And they have a site with a lot of downloads. Yeah, so they do. Lots of number fonts, lots of temp. That's what it was. It was the numbers. Okay. Big Evil offers up tons of numbers. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off.
And I say that, and now what do? They all come down pit road. So what it is, they did pit the first time by. Because a lot of people did, other than some of the way back, and those guys will be probably moved. That'll move them up closer to the front. These guys are playing the fuel mileage game. They're going to come in at the last possible minute, get that fuel, and then they will be on it, like we said before, a different fuel strategy. They'll be on a later stop than an earlier one. That can sometimes pay off, and sometimes not necessarily pay off, because depends on when the caution comes out. You might be able to track some drivers a lap down. It's how good their pit stops are, and whatnot. But yeah, there's a chance that, because they usually come out, and if you come off the pits and the guys that have stayed out, you usually kind of meet up about the three quarters of the way down the end of the straightaway, and you're usually, if you're stayed out, you got a little more head steam, but the guys that are just about getting up to speed can hook right onto the back of them and continue on going. Your pace car changed.
Yeah, the game crashed. So when the game crashes and got to reboot it randomizes it.
No, I looked over just quick like, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the same pace car.
Nope. We swapped pace cars already. And you are able to customize them too. We've had guys send us files, and
I think our ASR is working on one. They just haven't submitted it to us yet. But I do remember Brian Wolf talking about how they wanted to make up their own pace car. So
yeah, I'm not sure if it's editing the MIP files, which is like the texture, or if it's editing like the 3DO file, which is actually the model itself. I don't know how to. I've never actually done it.
I would see Nate Balls. He was the guy that went in second of that group. He's currently in the 18th position, so that'll give you an idea of how much farther back he went from that. What I don't see, I gotta keep going backward. Robert Breedlove is way back in the 29th. Oh, and he is headed back down pit road with Denny Carroll, Cody Lamas, Brian Rasson. Sorry, I'm trying to find them, There's a few drivers that are pitting the second time around, or being the last ones to pit. That way they can, again, as we talked before, puts them in a different pit strategy. Especially if you can do it with your buddies. That way you can go a little bit further. You guys can pit together. Usually, you pit together great, and your timing is good. You get in, you get out, and you get going real fast, and sometimes that works out really good. You want to be around your guys that hot pit, and they hot pit well, and get it. I know it sounds funny, but you can make up a lot of time, with the hot pit. And if you got the guys in there that know how to do it, you guys get in, get out. You get 4, 5, 6 guys. They get nose to tail right afterwards. They go, and that's a big advantage.
Yeah, having 3 or 4 is the best. I mean, the more the merrier, but that definitely gets you up to speed.
Just looking at the chat, and then it caused me to go take a look at the Josh's eggs, number 58. It is a little bit out of shape. I don't think it's going to pass the template after the race. Yeah,
the roof looked damaged when we were focused on there for a second. You
got a little bit of squishy on the top. And, yeah,
that's what the word from the garage is. Your car looks a little squishy.
Squishy, yeah. Now, hopefully he's got enough egg cartons in there. He was protected, so,
Yeah, if he's running a little slow, he'll just, he'll be passing out flyers and brochures.
I see a picture of him on Facebook putting his Josh's age sticker on I think it was a ARCA car.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Yeah, they went and watched the ARCA race from the infield.
I wonder if he was allowed to do that, or if he was vandalizing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Littering.
Once we get everything all squared away, starting on the front row, there is going to be Dave Little outside, David Chen, John Godfrey, Randy Waugh. I believe that is Greg Lovell and Dante Ricky back there. Inside line got a really good launch. That outside line so far has not had a great launch yet. See what Dave Little's going to do. Is he going to stay at that bottom? momentum seems to be coming more from the bottom. So he didn't, unlike what Balzer did at the beginning, he was kind of looking at both lines. Ooh, I don't know if that's a good move.
Yeah,
he went for the. No, it's going to work out. Why?
Yeah.
Because David Chin got left out. I figured he did that. Them guys will go with Dave Chin. Greg Lovell's going to run the bottom, and that inside would have slowed down. But Dave Chin is actually going to be the one that goes backwards because he's there in the third groove with no help.
Everybody shifted, but Dave was not able to do so. I'm just rolling back on the YouTube chat there. The A Balzer 2 says, how or who make the rules? Just curious. I'm thinking that's probably Angela. Yeah, how do the rules come about? I guess it's just years of trial and error, really. I mean, rules get created because you never knew you needed it, right?
Yeah, I think, this league is, this series is run by Ken Roberts. And as far as I've been in this, in the last few years, I know Ken Roberts has got, quite a few years in racing, and not just at ASR. I mean, he runs at a few other different leagues. So, when you are considering running a league, it's not a lot of these guys that are running the leagues are ones that are just started out and, I'm just going to do it, and this is the way we're going to do it,
Yeah.
You
need a guy like Ken in your like as your right-hand man, because he's done a lot of this. Same with Rodney. Rodney's at mid now over at RTG, as is Prime and Metallic. And
said I knew them. I knew Rodney the best out of the bunch, so that's why I reached out to him. But you basically, after racing enough, you go to some leagues and you can see this is how they do things, and you can say no, this is the way. You don't necessarily want to go out there, power tripping it, and this is the way we're going to do it. You get together as a group, you make, decisions, and you decide, who, what do we want to do? How do we want to run the rules? And you do it based on the fact that you want it fair for everybody. You want the racing to be clean. I mean, if you don't discipline people, sometimes then that's going to get a little carried away.
yeah. Some people don't like the rules because, it's just a game. I'm like, yeah, but it's a simulator, and people put a lot of hours into this. They don't want to be getting ruined every week either, right?
It's a simulator.
It's a simulator. So there's a lot of time taken to get the setups right in the garage and practice on the tracks. It's like you don't want to come out here and just have a guy driving in reverse. So, and it's trial and error. And like, if you go on the Rolling Thunder Gaming, and ASR as well has a pretty thick rule book, but Rolling Thunder's been around so long. We know the main rules. Like, okay, they do 2 lucky dogs, no racing back, 5, 10, 15 to go. It varies here and there, but like there's other rules, like way deep down in there. Like, who did that needed to be a rule, But it's in there. Like, they have it in the book, Like, well, what do we do in this scenario? And they actually have to go look it up. Like, they know it's in there, but they don't know the rule themselves because they might not have to implement it, right? But when a league's been around that long, there's so many different what ifs.
Had a new leader the lap before, Greg Lovell, and got a good push by Ken Roberts down there and got out there. Then, Doug Hillett was able to get a good push from Pat McCarsky in the outside groove, and he was able to lead that lap. So now we're working 3 wide down the backstretch. No, don't adjust your screen. This is normal.
Yep. This is
what's going to happen. See that high line's going well. You watch that middle line. All of a sudden, that middle line, which is the preferred line everybody wants to be on, except for, I see that, except for when you get into this scenario. Believe it or not, that inside line slows down when you get somebody on the outside and inside of them. So,
Benjamin Snyder in the YouTube chat there a little while ago mentioned that we were going through the leagues that guys represent.
Oh, no!
Oh, my.
Wow!
Oh, my.
Holy crap!
What? I don't think anybody got through that.
No!
It's like a grenade just
where
went off.
It happened, but it happened right up near the front. I gotta go watch. I'm watching.
That's hilarious.
How did that go all the way towards the front? It was what, it started like 2 rows back.
Man, I don't know if I've ever seen that.
No.
Did anybody get through
Cars
that?
in the front should never have been even touched, and somehow they got involved in that.
Yeah, because it looked like it happened in row 3.
That was
We're
crazy.
going slow motion to see if we can see what happens. It looked like it happened in row 3, but somehow it occupied everybody in front of them, or engulfed everybody.
That's the thing is, how did it transfer to the front row? A weird one. Of course, this is over here at ASR.
That's wild.
Yeah, they raced back, so Greg Lovell was able to get back to the line. Hart and Skarsky behind him, and
there's a rule I forgot. They race back regardless.
yes, that's all right. Well, those 3 drivers were able to get free as quick.
I can't
Did
even
we see
see all
McCarthy
this.
go sideways?
I'm going to have to get
How
on the
does
drone
that-
to see it.
Well, what I don't understand is how did that energy go through two rows of cars all the way to the front row?
It started in row 3 and somehow it made it to the front.
Yeah.
It pushed forward.
Yeah, like I said, the energy of that somehow, you got to go aerial view of that.
Yeah, I'm going drone camera right now.
It's just so weird that it literally pushed I'd push the second row up into the first row.
Here, one
That was
second.
crazy.
Let me slow this, so if I can slow drone cam down a little bit, so I'm not so sketchy on it here. We can actually follow the...
It looks like it started as a bump draft that just went wrong. Everything comes off the wall back in. I'm watching the on the, I'm a little bit late on it, but wow.
See, somehow it caught the 55. It shoots Mangialardi. So Bombard got sideways, and it actually catapulted the 29 forward into the 55, which went forward into the 088 of Lovell. And then Lovell made a right turn. He didn't make a right turn. He was forced into a right turn right across the front of everybody, which was Hewlick and McClure.
Oh, yeah.
I've never
I was just
seen
going to
that.
say, when Bombard's car hit Mangialardi's, that momentum just shot him forward into Ken Roberts.
Oh, no, drone cam's going to get destroyed. I had to go into the track. Well, there's an angle.
That was
you can
crazy.
use.
Never seen that happen.
Yeah, that is wild.
Robert Spring, I don't know if he was involved in that, but he was able to, he stayed out to lead a lap. He's one of the guys that I know it's here for the, long haul. He's going to try to see if he can win a championship. Now the next question is, it'd be easier. That drone footage is crazy.
Yeah, it's Tyler Mallon is responsible for making free cam, which I'm using right now. An amazing tool.
Well, when you went underground, that was wild.
Yeah, putting everybody up in the sky. But it's literally like every car. There's actually guys back here who've parked it. You can see Robert Spring comes to a stop. Ellie Elliser comes to a stop. Everybody just parked it.
As long as they did that and didn't get hit.
Oh, McClure is demolished. Is that? I can't even tell.
If you think about it, if you came to a stop like that, you get no damage in your car. Let's say you got 5 or 6 guys. Those could be your 5 or 6 guys that are going to be fighting for this win today, because the other ones might be damaged, beyond. Although we've seen with this truck physics in this cars with quite a bit of damage still be able to hang. They may not be able to pull out and pass somebody, but they can stay behind him and push. So there may still be a few up there, but that was just crazy.
Couldn't actually see the number 17 on the car. I had to zoom into the roof panel to see the name from McClure on there. But we'll ride on board with McClure and watch this, because he, again, in row number 1, that is wild. Let's see what it looks like from the back corner.
That's crazy. Just absolutely crazy.
Oh, his hood flaps have bottles of whiskey underneath. Cool.
He's tipping it up, right?
Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, McClure's cooked. That has to be one of the
Most bizarre crashes I've ever seen.
craziest wrecks I've ever seen, because it literally is. It involved almost every car.
Well, we've seen wrecks where 2 cars will hit and almost like get hooked together, and it just does this kind of momentum kind of fling thing, just it spun around and throws the cars real high.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's what kind of happened when Terry Bomar's car rolled back into Mangialardi, whether it shot it.
That's kind of what I was
shot it forward.
seeing
It
is
did.
that, yeah, it's kind of like
Momentum
that weird
wouldn't-
slingshot physics,
Yeah.
like, because, and that's in combination with a little bit of internet lag too. Like if you've got a quarter
Right.
second internet lag, now the car's inside the other car. And then when the car actually comes back, we can still see it, but maybe the game can't. And it's like, oh, and then it just overreacts sometimes and just causes this crazy physics, impact. And that's what happened through the car. It was able to throw the car forward and just domino everybody.
Yeah. So I don't know how many of them made it through without severe damage, but I mean, I'm looking at Ken Roberts' car. He's, doesn't show any damage. I'm sure he may have some, but I don't think it's going to be enough to that would really slow him down. Like we've seen, like Rodney Sullivan's last season have the whole back of the car missing and still, running right up there in the top 5 and running great. So, they may not be that bad. I do believe they run moderate damage, which is probably a saving grace, because if they didn't, they probably would have had a lot less cars after that wreck.
Yeah. Oh, if it was realistic, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have cooked half the field on that one. I mean, is McClure still on the track? No, he retired.
No,
Okay.
McClure, he's retired. Tim Anderson retired. So currently, right now, I was going to say something, but I figured I would wait to see if they stayed out or not. Robert Breedlove's on point. Billy Elliser in that beautiful Coors Light car, second. Then we've got Cody Lamas, Denny Carroll, Dante Ricky, and Greg Lovell. He is currently back there in the 6th spot. Ken Roberts, Terry Bombard. Working my way backwards, Mangialardi, Brian Wolf, Randy Waugh, and that is Perry Bond in the Xbox car. So,
oh, yep.
But no, go ahead. I'm just going to say that some of them that were involved in an accident, the cars don't look that bad. So
no,
I mean, some were wrecked.
I got you covered, Cody. The Panthers are playing in Toronto right now, and they just scored. The Panthers are up 5-2 over the Make Beliefs at the end of the 3rd period. There's only 3 minutes left, so the Toronto Make Beliefs will no way beat the Panthers. It's actually the Maple Leafs, but that's not a real word.
Cody doesn't run in this Panthers car tonight, so
yeah, I love how Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah,
like Leafs isn't a word. We leaves.
Leaves. Yeah, I guess. That's, I don't know.
It's the biggest spelling mistake in sports history. It's 112 years in, so they can't change it now.
Right. Robert Breedlove is going to take the high side, which is, we know that to be the preferred line once you get up to speed. For the most part, we've talked about earlier, just some people like the high side, some people like the lower side. But
it's funny how I never capture the switch. Because he would have to start on the bottom because he's an odd number starting position. But we actually, very rarely do I ever capture the switch. If I'm going to take the high side, then they would swap spots, lanes.
I watched, but pace car makes a trip down pit road.
All right.
Just looking from the back of the cars, I know that Bobby Farrell is missing the whole back side of his car, but I didn't see anybody else that that didn't retire from that accident that were too bad. So see if that bottom line gets the run. He loves right on it. Billy Ellis is just a little late on that start, but
Benjamin in the YouTube chat letting us know too. Yeah, Splash and Go created this mod, Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series 19. Yeah, I knew Splash and Go did the templates for the models. But yeah, they actually built the mods. That's cool.
Breedlove was thinking about coming down to that bottom line, but he went back to the high side. Cody Lamas is really giving Billy Ellis a good push. I said that should put him right beside Breedlove going into the corner, but we do also know at this track, what we've seen, the inside line usually gets a little bit better run in. The outer line, once it gets off the corner, will usually have a pretty good run out. Let's see if Billy Ellis is able to continue that. He's got Lamas really pushing him.
Yeah, Lamas.
He's doing a great job pushing him. Billy Ellis is going to lead that lap. But the outside line now, the momentum's built up. It should start really cranking along, depending on who you got there. But when you've got Denny Carroll up there, you got Greg Lovell. These guys are going to be right pushing on Breedlove's car pretty hard, so they might be able to keep that outside line going. Seems to be working pretty darn good. Looks looks like Carroll decided he was going to try to go to the bottom, and Breedlove went first. So
bailing on Greg.
yeah, I'm surprised that, you know, them guys. I get it, when you're up there leading, you try to go with a line that's got the more momentum, and you hope that it goes well when you do it, and you don't slow that line down. As we see sometimes, some drivers will get out there and they make a perfect execution out there. When the guy catches them, it's a little love tap, and that line never loses that momentum. Some of the times when somebody makes that move just a little bit too late, it ends up shutting down that line for a little bit. Interestingly enough, that Billy Elliser went to the high side. Now Cody Lamas is pulling up in front of him, and Brian Lowe. It's just, you know, it's weird. You're watching these guys do that. You would think, you know, they would stay in a line, but, you know, Billy Elliser went to the high side, Lamas went to the high side to see if he can go up and lead a lap, and then you got Brian Wolf coming from the high side down to the bottom. They're braver than I am at it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm, like I said, I'm gonna go to RTG Challenge Series. I'm gonna try it. I just don't know how these guys continually do that and get away with it too. Brian Wolf, what a save!
Game of inches, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. I have always said, you know, especially on short tracks, you know, it's so easy. It's so hard to gain a tenth, but it's so easy to lose half a second by one slight mistake.
Yep. Yeah, when Brian said he was rolling a throwback to the TARNATION TV, I'm like, what's he talking about? Like, that car's so old, I forgot it existed.
Was that painted back when this started then?
Yeah.
That car, you know, it wasn't something that he just threw together with the old labels on it. That's what he ran back then.
Yeah, he ran it. I believe Rodney painted it. Let me check. Yep.
That's awesome.
You can always check. Rodney will have his little stamp of approval on the front quarter panels. Yeah, Rodney threw that together, and I forgot it. I forgot that car existed.
I'd put a request in for Rodney to do me up a 31 Jaeger car for the Gen 6 BR15 there, because they run that on Wednesdays. I hadn't been and there wasn't no rush for it and whatnot. We got to talking today, and I told him I was going to run my Jaeger bomb car, and I just mentioned to him, you know, hey, you know, when you get a chance, I'm not hurrying you, you know, but whenever. And he's like, I'm sorry, dude, I know, but he's been doing, you know,
tons of stuff,
the Bob Dixon Memorial Race. He just did the Cannon Race. Now he's doing cars for the ALS race, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, dude. You know, I'm not rushing you. He does such good work. I would rather be patient and wait for, you know, I got a car to run, so.
Spring is a busy time for the he is. Spring is such a busy time for the fundraising events, and Rodney and Bernie and all the painters on deck, you know, getting these cars that might only be run one time, you know. But I mean, the one McClure is running tonight, unfortunately he's out of the race, but that he drove that in the ALS race the last couple of years. Wickers 17, he drives it in an RTG on Thursdays, I think. So some of them stick, you know, like if you've got a hot rig, you might as well just keep going, you know.
Well, that's like what Josh Metallic, he came over here and won a race, and then I guess he had won that Thursday, he'd won that, you know, our Saturday, and he's like, I'm going to keep that car. And then I go and watch the Thursday night RTA Challenge Series, and he's in a different car. I said, well, guess it ran out of luck.
Yep, that's true. It's just a paint file, but it is funny. Superstition.
Oh, yeah. Cody Lamas out front, Billy Elliser second, Greg Lovell third, Terry Bombard fourth. Perry Bond is in the fifth spot, Nate Balzer, then Dennis McCarthy. That looks to be John Godfrey, David Chin, Ken Roberts trying to make a move on the high side there. Splits up the back of that a little bit. They kind of, bottom side was coming. I think Ken Roberts was trying to go to the high side. There was a little bit of a hargy-bargy, I guess you'd call it.
Just noticed 3 laps ago, Dale Shalinsky was forced to retire with wheel issues. So must have drove over something and bent a rim.
Could have been another car too.
Yeah,
he was involved in that big one.
I mean, everybody was, so it could have just been like a lingering issue from the big wreck.
See the big speed difference. Of course, Brand Setter's probably, his car's a little damaged, but him out there running by himself and the whole pack running by him at about, you know, he's only doing 170 miles an hour. cars passing them, and we're doing almost a little around 200 miles an hour. I think 30 mile an hour difference. You can see that really quick when that whole field went whipping by him.
Yeah, unfortunately caught up in that big wreck, probably took some damage on there. Yeah, you can see the door squashed in on the right.
It's a little beat up.
A little bit, yep. A little bit.
All right, Seth, how many laps has it been since they last pitted?
Excellent question. I don't know.
They pitted around lap 5.
Okay.
Ish, give or take. Some went out a little later, a little earlier. So I would assume we're going to see pit stops not that far away. And I didn't write that down. That was just by knowledge. So.
Oh, yeah, right on. I'll get the pit lane camera set up here.
Just keeping an eye on the chat, because usually, sometimes the guys will let us know when they're going to pit. Pretty much, they started running, 2 wide, then they went to the 3 wide. We had that big wreck. I think everybody's just calmed down a little bit, kind of single filing it. Yeah. Let's run some laps out. Looks like the back, if you look closely on Greg Lovell's car, you can see the left rear corner of that car. So you can see inside the trunk lid, so he's got damage still on his. And like we said before, that even though they've got a little bit of damage, they can still run, especially where he's at. He's got fast cars behind him, fast cars in front of him. It doesn't really slow him down all that much.
Yeah. You've got someone to take the air off both sides. It's like you're just kind of stuck in a funnel. And anybody watching this will be like, oh man, it's just a video game. Like, no, it's a simulator. Like when they call it a simulator, it actually is. There is air involved here. Like a car by himself is not going to go as fast out here on a Superspeedway or any track really as you would with 3 or 4 buddies. So
the
and in
thing
that
with
scenario
it
too, when you got a damaged nose and a damaged tail, if you're sitting kind of like right where like Terry Bombard is, for instance, 3 or 4 back, or like we were just talking about Lovell, he's got a couple cars in front of him with a whole bunch of cars behind him, so he's perfect. He's right in that funnel.
Yep. And then we always used to say, I wondered where this game would go, if they were had been able to continue doing it. And we do know it went, it's called iRacing, but they got dynamic track wear, so the outside groove here would get more traction on it. There's all kinds of stuff that they do over there, and it's very cool. But also in my book, kind of expensive. Where this here is, an old game, you can actually get it for free. Come out, race, get yourself a decent wheel. Unless you're Cody, friends with Cody Lamas, and you want to run a keyboard, go talk to him. That guy can run a keyboard. Yep,
gamepad, keyboard, joysticks, wheels, whatever you got, you can make it work. And you can change your view. Can't change your view in iRacing. You're stuck in the cockpit.
I think the first thing that ever freaked me out was pitting. First slam on the brakes because I thought I was going to hit a car and he wasn't there. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because they have no collisions on pit road.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you run a private league, you could turn that option on, I would hope. Hope there's some server side options, kind of like Valheim, like we're playing on the side there, that Viking game, where if you run your own server, you literally can control it any way you want. It's not like you're playing Call of Duty and you're forced to go in through Activision and you can't host your own game. You're running off what they give you, and it's like, well, the older games, like, Counter-Strike, this NASCAR, like all these older games that came out in it's like, 90s, 2000s. You just run your own server and run it how you want. Like Quake 3 Arena is another great example of like, hey, we're just going to have rail guns and double jumping. And you can just put all these things in there. It's awesome to be able to modify stuff. But then a lot of the games, you're stuck with what they give you,
iRacing's changed a lot since I've last run there, because when I last run there, they were just talking about running dirt. Now they're, they got dirt tracks and dirt cars. Yeah.
Cool.
It wasn't for me. My biggest problem with that was, you would finally work on a setup for a track. You'd get it down. You'd finally, because I know race cars and I know what works, but I've also never had the boundaries where, you're too high here, you're too low there, and that would really mess me up, So you finally get one squared away, and just as soon as you get it working, they change the tire model, the setup no longer works.
I've heard a lot of that, yeah,
Yeah.
because the tire model is one of the hardest things to kind of lock in.
Yep.
And then you'd have this setup at Martinsville that's just dominates.
Yep.
And then, 3 months later, the setup doesn't work. And you're like, oh, okay, well, what happened? Well, the tires are different now. Oh, cool.
You go out, you go in, you get an update, and then you just start over.
Yeah. Start from baseline and start
Yep.
building back, start running some laps. Like, oh, okay, I see. And you can always get it back to where you get it. But, man, it takes hours sometimes.
Yep. I like making setups for here. If I have a setup that works at, Talladega, I can pretty much take that setup and go to any Talladega track and it works. But, never have to worry about the tire model changing. And then some of the tracks, yeah, some of the guys like, the BRs and stuff like that. I was just noticing now that
Occupying the
Lamas
bottom.
just started going down to the bottom.
Yep.
So that whole line that was running the top pit stops are not too far away because they're starting to work their way down to the bottom so that just in case nobody gets underneath them and puts them on the high side when they want to pit.
And it's neat to see this field the way they're running right now. Like we've got Lamas up front, Alliser, Lovell, Bombard, Bond, Breedlove. Like there's a lot of different names up front right now. After that big wreck sort of jumbled everybody up, these guys are always here and they're always consistent. But some of these guys don't like running up the front, but they're doing okay with it right now.
Yeah. A lot of it too, though, is that big wreck kind of just slowed everybody down from, wanting to run 3 wide like that. I think I'm guessing, I'm not in the room with them, but I would imagine that, the admin might have spoke up and said, hey, calm down, guys. Where it's, televised race. We try to make a good race here, not a wreck fest.
Yeah.
And so they probably all kind of calmed down and, the big thing, the big equalizer it's going to be here, there's going to be guys that are going to get in and out of pits real fast. Then you're going to have the drivers that are that's just not their forte at pitting. That'll drop them back a little bit. Or even, for that matter, we've seen, people get bumped, bangs, overshoot your pits, anything like that can make you lose precious time. When that happens, we're about around almost to the halfway point. Actually, we are at the halfway point. They'll separate them up. This thing goes green the rest of the way. The guys that are going to get the better pit stops in and out are going to still be the guys up front.
Yeah, and accidents happen too, right? That's the thing.
All right, Cody Lamas is pitting this time by.
Okay.
So is Billy Elliser.
All right. No pressure, guys. Green flag pit stops are awesome at this track, especially since John Godfrey was kind enough to widen it out for us on pit road. Speaking of which,
It
John
looks
Godfrey
like
last time was
Kerry
in
Bond's
13th.
coming. Doug Hillick, Angelardi, Billy Elliser, not Billy Elliser, he's already coming in. Bobby Farrell are all making a trip down pit road this coming by this time. As you can see, the guys that aren't all roll to the high side there, just to keep that momentum going. So when they slowed down, they didn't get into the back of them, and then they'll be coming around pretty soon, I think. With the exception of the few guys that we saw stay out later. Looks like Breedlove's coming in this time. Balzer, Dennis McCarthy, Randy Waugh, Dante Ricky.
Right on. Rest of the pack, probably. Usually 2 or 3 laps, everybody will have gone through a cycle.
It really depends on if you can go an extra lap or two, and you got some people that can go with you. You might stay out just to do one more lap.
Mm-hmm.
John Godfrey's coming in. One of these guys going around the back and it's saving fuel. Little smoke off Tyree Bombard, but good. Everybody's good. Little smoke off of Ken Roberts.
Oh, Denny on the grass just a little bit, but he got a hold of her. That's why we made it rider, and he's still going in the grass. It's wide enough, Denny. You don't need to drive in the grass.
I was looking to see if anybody stayed out.
There, right? It's crazy.
Looking to see if anybody stayed out. You know what I mean? Anybody. Nobody did. Those 2 rounds there, everybody pitted.
Aha. So we should see the main pack coming around.
First round of buys did not get out together. Cody Lamas. The first guy, sorry, three of the four of those guys came out together. That would be Cody Lamas, Robert Spring, which Insteader, yes. Oh no!
What do you got?
Somebody spun coming off pit road right in front of the leaders, or the lead cars that would have been lead cars. At least the cars I was following, so I don't know. I think Denny Carroll was well clear of that.
Yeah, Denny's way out front here now.
I was watching that group as I'd kind of gone through to see if anybody had come out together, and those guys had, and I saw a car from down below just come right in front of them, and unfortunately hit Billy Elliser, Robert Spring.
You know, Denny was
Cody
way out
Lamas.
in front all by himself too, but that would have been good at a smaller track. But here they would have caught him fast.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they would have passed him fast. So a yellow
Thursday.
almost might benefit him a little bit. He won't get left in the dust if these guys went by him.
You know,
super fast.
there's guys out all of these guys have the capability of winning this race. They all got the speed to do it and the knowledge to do it, but not every single one of them is great at pitting. Denny Carroll's is one of those guys that's very good at it, and as you can, it showed there. You know, he was able to get himself way clear of the pack. But like you said, all we do is two cars get together, they'd run him down.
Mm-hmm.
Three cars run him down even quicker, and so on and so on. So.
It looked like Godfrey and Waugh came off the pits. And Waugh can't go over that yellow line. He'll get a penalty for that. And they just... Oh, yeah. Yeah, Randy did not get treated well on that one. Yeah, and he was like, you know, John might have thought maybe he was, you know, like, why are you pushing me? He's like, well, Randy's not. If Randy goes above that yellow line, he's going to get black flag.
Right.
You know, that's
Just didn't call.
We've seen some really close calls on that line. I always remember Josh Mercurio got a black flag for something one time, and we went back and found out that it was a pit lane exit violation, and we looked at it in a replay, and literally half of a tire over that yellow line where Randy was, and it black flagged him for an unsafe exit. And you're like, ugh, you know, we're pitting, and that's the one thing about NASCAR racing 2003 season. Cars are always able to collide with each other. iRacing, they're in ghost mode on pit road, which is weird.
Watching the pit stops there, Denny Carroll did come down. He took two left side tires. Most of the rest of the field, except for Doug Hillick, took right side tires, and most of the rest of them were just fuel only. They were just in the pits not that long ago, so you know it doesn't going to hurt them none. The tires are probably good, quicker just to get the fuel and added in there. So now they have the ability to go a little bit further, than what they could before. Now,
Right.
Is that going to? We got people that are still out there. There's a good chance they may also stay out lead a lap, then go in and pit.
Black flag was being shown to John Godfrey, but that was probably with him and Randy Waugh would have got the same black.
Yeah, if you
For exiting
cross
pits.
the line too soon, you will concur a black flag, which is a drive-through penalty under a green flag condition. But of course, unfortunately, that caused the yellow flag condition. So I think they'll probably sometimes you can just drive through the pits. So if you went in and pitted, you might. Sometimes it clears that. If it's like the end along this line or a penalty like exiting too soon.
Yeah.
Some of the ones that don't do that are, if you pass somebody going into pit road, sometimes it literally just depends on, where the caution is, how it falls, where it falls. If it's if you pass somebody going into the pits under yellow flag conditions, I don't think that one gets cleared. That one you do have to serve the drive-through penalty for.
Yeah, it depends on the flag condition.
Yep.
Yeah. Just taking a look at Mike Brush here.
And,
Wedgewood Pizza.
Wedgewood Pizza, yeah.
Get in my mouth, Wedgewood Pizza.
I took as we were talking when we were on air earlier, talking about it, and I was just going through and I saw that car. I literally checked out all of the cars to see who had the new ones, because, you get accustomed to like Terry Bombard and the 110. It's a yellow, mellow cup car, and it's, you know it, and that's how you pick it up. When somebody comes into the new paint scheme like that, you want to go look at them. You want to check it out. You want to make sure, okay, that's who that is.
Yeah, and Brush, is that I don't know, is that a franchise that,
Not sure. That's nothing I've heard of around here, and I'm not sure where Brush is from, so.
Ah, cool. Yeah, because I've never heard of it either, so that's kind of cool. Local pizzeria.
Yeah, it could be a local one. Could
Represent.
be, I've never heard of it, so I'm going to guess it's probably from whereabouts he's at.
Which means it's probably good pie.
Mm-hmm.
Black flag John Godfrey again. Probably just an end of line penalty. They won't make him go in the pits for that. Checking out that brush pin scheme. Let's go back. See what he's wearing on the uniform. Oh yeah, custom helmet.
And look at the side of it. Was it a Rodney Sullivan?
Nope. No. Yeah, Brush looks like he's paints his own stuff.
Yeah. Just because I didn't realize, and I've tried to paint a couple of these cars. Sometimes you get in that painting mood and you do really good. Sometimes it's just hard to want to do it, and it's funny how Rodney has just literally gone and exploited every little aspect of the scheme. I bet you he's probably sat there and went, "Oh, if I put bright green here," and then goes and puts it in car viewer, where's that come out?
That's what I do. Yeah, that's what I do. If I want
Probably.
to change the color of the
that.
antenna on top of the camera right there on top of the roof, you can change just that antenna color.
Yeah, but you just got to find out where it is. And I imagine the amount of time Rodney Sullins has spent in the template, just trying to figure out which one is which.
I'll get out my spray bomb and I'll set it to like hot pink, lime green, and then you go load it up with CarView and go, oh, there it is, okay. And then you can change it, multicolored, tie-dye, put a pattern on it. Well, like for instance, that one that I made for Robert Spring, I always mess with the steering wheels, but not as much as Rodney does.
Crazy.
But I made the steering wheel look pretty neat in this one.
Right, so David Chin is saying that Brush lives in the same town as Brian Wolf.
Oh, cool.
We'll have to see if Brian Wolf knows that is. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get Brush up here in the booth afterwards, when the top 3 finish, and we can ask some more questions about that.
Yeah. You can't see it completely, but I put the logo on the actual steering wheel itself. You can see the ears. You can see the dog's ears popping up from his sponsor there on the steering wheel. Yeah, it's fun. This mod's a lot of fun to mess with the template, because they do have a lot of little angles. I think the International Race of Champions, the IRC mod by Mystical at Armory Digital, they are the only mod I've ever seen that doesn't have a square template. Every template in this game is 2048 by 2048 or 1024 by 1024. If you want the file size to be a little smaller, you can shrink it down before you put it on the car. In the IRC mod, it's like 2048 by like 4066 or something. So it's like a widescreen template. It is insane the amount. You thought this mod was crazy with all the little stuff you can do? That mod is bonkers. You can change the color of individual screws on the roof. It's insane.
Race cars on pit road. Greg Lovell is going to be on point. Terry Barbara outside. Nate Balzer. Robert Breedlove. That is Mike Brush and Perry Bond, your top 6. Let's see if that inside line still gets the better run for the night. And Greg Lovell's right on. I just looking across there, you can see right through the back of his car. That is Greg Lovell. Just on the restart TV1. Balzer was getting ready to give him a little shove there, and I'm like, I don't know if I'd want to push on that much, but Greg Lovell gets a good shot, good push from Nate Balzer, gets out front.
Ooh, front row looking pretty dicey.
Brush kind of trying to get up there in the high groove because them two were going up there. He wanted to go with them. Unfortunately, Terry Bombard was there, and he kind of gave him a little hip check, and they realized, oh, boy, wait a minute, somebody's there.
Yeah, hip check.
I'm learning. That's why I say I want to go try the Talladega Challenge Series, just because I watch these guys do a lot of Talladega racing. That don't mean I've learned much, but just watching some of the stuff that they've done, they do. I know that I went out there, that's a few weeks back on a Saturday, and just decided to join in with some of their practice and stuff, and they were doing this 10 lap sprint races, and I actually won one of those. Basically, just a lot of it was watching these guys do the stuff that they do, where they change lanes and stuff and keep the momentum. And I got done, I won it, and I was just like, wow, I don't know, how can these guys do this, for 66 laps? I was in a 10 lap race.
Yeah, and you're exhausted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My brain was fried after that. I literally spent probably 80% of the time looking in the rearview mirror, just trying to see where the runs were coming from. And I
think, too, like, I've played a lot of video games. I was born in 1980, so I grow up with the stuff. And, I've played a lot of cool racing games, San Francisco Rush, Burnout, arcade-style stuff. But then you started getting into the simulator stuff in the early 90s with the Papyrus releases. And I think that's a lot to do with why this thing has lasted so long. You can come out here every day and run the same track, and it'll never be easy, especially in a company like this, where an arcade game is just an arcade game. Like, you could plug in Burnout Paradise and go nuts, and it's a lot of fun, but where's the replayability 10 years later? You're probably not playing it anymore. Here we are, 20 plus years later, still driving in this thing.
And you think about it too, it's people would probably that's never raced before in their life, or even done the sim racing before in their life, and you go, how can you guys go out and run Talladega? Now, granted, Talladega is probably one of the easiest tracks to drive by yourself and whatnot, but it is also, you get a bunch of people out there, it changes the aspect of it, and when you get everybody out there, you start playing, I always say 20 games of chess at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You get done with these races and you're fried. If you think of Greg Lovell right now, he's out front, out leading. He's got Nate Balzer right behind him. He's spending most of his time looking in that rearview mirror, not necessarily watching Balzer, but he just saw that move, that Dante Ricky made right there, going to the bottom. He's going to keep track of that now that, Breedlove come to the bottom. He's going to keep track of that. As they start to progress forward, if their momentum is quick enough, he's going to drop down there in front of them and use that momentum to keep him out front.
And you can see the rearview mirror up there now. That's what he sees, in the car pretty much.
Greg's got to go now if he wants to, because Richie's really, really pushing. Really, you can see Breedlove's car kind of wiggle a little bit. That's just Dante Ricky pushing and pushing and pushing. Ricky pushing him, really, really pushing him down the straightaways. And you got that. I think it was. I don't know if you do that with the drone on the backstretch. You got that great view when they go down the backstretch when they're pushing them guys. I mean, they're literally just right to them, really, pushing them hard.
Yeah, custom camera pack here. If you download this track, this camera pack does not come with it. I've changed it because I think it works better for broadcasting. You downloaded it. I say it all the time on Reddit. There's a user called NR Clips, and he has this awesome spectator camera.
Woo-hoo! Carry bond from the high side to the bottom side. That should slow that high side momentum down a little bit. Dante Ricky is pushing Breedlove down that straight shot. I mean, he is just pushing him. You can see the difference that it makes, once they get going like that. You're going to get, Greg Lovell's going to get that little bit better run on that high side off the corner, but with Dante, ooh, that's a little bit too hard of a push. Come on, save it. Oh, no.
Oh, my, wow.
Wow. Breedlove was airborne.
Breedlove did a couple of backflips right there. Man, the crashes tonight are wild.
They're not just, not the kind of little crashes. They're big ones.
Like 3 or 4 yellow flags, but holy moly, they've been entertaining.
Thought
Let's
for
look
a
it up.
moment maybe they were going to have to race back, but they didn't quite make it to the start-finish line. So they backed off. Pace car is coming down the backstretch. Not going to pick them up on the backstretch like they normally do because they're kind of programmed to go race back. So until their spotter says, nope, we took the yellow, you got to slow down, they just go.
Oh man, Breedlove going for it. Somehow got her back on her wheels though.
Had it saved, I mean, almost. And then he got in that grass, and it just come around on him, and what a mess it made.
That's like driving with an egg under the pedal, because you really are like fine tuning those pedals when you're in the grass like that. Because if you slam on the brakes, it's just gonna go around. You want to kind of drive it out, but it just looped home.
Yeah, that was just a bump gone bad. Nothing that Dante Ricky was just trying to push Breedlove up to the front and get him out there out front. It just got really, if I look at it like that, he just got to him a little bit too late, I guess is the best way, or pushed him just a little too long. It's hard to push somebody through the tri-oval and get away with it.
Right.
Doesn't always work well. I look over at the broadcast and I can see Breedlove over there flying without a pilot's license.
Yeah. A lot of cars up in the sky tonight. Catch Fence doing its job, keeping the fans protected. Thanks again to Bryant Motorsport Auto Sales for the sponsorship on race number 2 here on Saturday night. Of course, lots of people in the YouTube channel interacting. Thank you as well. Jason Awesome Bods says hi. Hey, what's happening, Jason? Roddy's in there. Angela Ball. I'm assuming it's Angela Balser. The A Balser too. See, no, wait a second. Maybe not. I thought Nate's wife had her own account that actually was her name. Interesting.
Not sure.
An educated guess.
The good thing is we're up to 408 subscribers. That's pretty cool. We're getting there.
Yeah, that's
not
nice.
rushing anybody, not pushing, but the need, hit that subscribe button if you ain't already.
Subscriptions are free until the end of this caution flag period.
There you go.
Terry Bombard to the front.
I saw him and him and Brian Wolf stay out after that. So I think, doesn't the penalty over here, if you cause the caution, don't you try to have to get yourself to the end along this line, I believe?
Yes.
Ricky might have to.
That's interesting, yeah. I mean, that could be deemed a racing deal. I mean,
Right.
You're pushing a guy, and we were talking about how he was pushing him lap in, lap out. Like, they were locked on
Right.
for a while. So it's like, well, it's not malicious, but it also was the reason that the yellow flag came out. So I think it's kind of cut and dry. Ricky would have to serve that.
I would think so, I mean,
Or dispute
and it's better to, go in, serve the penalty, and get it done versus, so let's just say, hey, hypothetically, he goes in, gets himself to the end of the longest line, he's going to start in the back.
Under
maybe
yellow.
Maybe on under yellow. Maybe he, only goes halfway up the field, whatever, but if he decides to stay out, he could win the race, and he would finish the last car on the lead lap.
Right.
So he would not get the win because he didn't serve his penalty. So it's sometimes better to take the penalty, and then, kind of just bite the bullet and, just take your losses and go out there and still be able to probably win the race and keep it.
And it's interesting because I've been in the scenario where even, especially here at Talladega, because everybody's running so close together. So let's just say, I don't know, I'm looking at Brian Rawson right now. So let's say Hewlett's pushing Rawson, Rawson's pushing Waugh. Hewlett bumps Rawson a little bit too much, shoves him into Waugh. Waugh goes around, everybody crashes, brings out the yellow. It's like, okay, well, the reason that Rawson hit Waugh was because of Hewlick. You actually might see Rawson and Hewlick both serve the penalty just to be safe.
Right. And that would be the smart thing to do about that, just because now you're still on the lead lap, you're still with the rest of the group. And then again, they may go and found, that Hewlick would be the one involved in it because he pushed Rawson into. And that's something, you and I could sit here and watch replay after replay, and we wouldn't be able to say that's what they're going to say. It's because they've got a panel of drivers that watch it, and it's what they saw. Everybody's looking at their replay. So my replay is going to show exactly what. So let's say, in that scenario, Doug Hewlick's replay is going to be a little bit different than Ryan Rawson's replay, and a little bit different than Randy Waugh. Not night and day, but sometimes when you get a little internet latency in there, it won't show up on one person's replay, but it may show up on another's.
Yeah, and it's probably not even a discussion. Like, you watch it, you vote on that, and then they ask, hey, okay, do you think it's this or that? Boom, boom, boom. All right, that's what it is.
The only replay that is going to be 100% correct is the replay on the server.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean, right.
Yep, that's the only one that's going to be 100% right.
Does the server generate a replay?
It can be set to.
Okay. Just following Brian Wolf there on the 29. One of the administrators here.
Interestingly enough, lights are off on the pace car. Nate Balzer is the point on the point. He chose the bottom. We've seen a few of the guys chose the high side. But as it's been doing probably most of the night, will be interesting to see. We're getting down to about 16 laps. It may be a scenario where he and Greg Lovell have been kind of working together. If they decide they want to continue to do so, one line may not go as well as the other, per se. And, one car will either drop down or move up. We've seen that happen with, different people. Now, Balzer's in a Chevrolet, Lovell's in a Ford, Sometimes, they always say, Chevys don't breed with Fords. So we'll see how it works out.
And everybody has pitted, and they're all good to go to the end of this thing. So unless damage occurs, I wouldn't expect anybody to come down pit road.
This should be, the final run to it, hopefully without caution, and see who's got the, strong car after all that. We know Lovell's got some damage on the rear. I know that Balzer had to have been involved in one of those earlier incidents. It just depends on how bad, he was. It's pretty much everybody's been in an accident at least tonight once.
Yeah, that one pretty much collected everybody.
Right. Now, you may not have, we saw Robert Spring, earlier just slow down and not get involved in that one, but you look at his car now, he has no rear end of the car, it's all gone.
Right.
Just getting a good restart there. Nate Balzer is on the bottom. I noticed that, due to that accident we had a little while back there, where Denny Carroll, his back is very similar looking to Greg Lovell's car. And as I said, Nate Balzer went up to the high side in front of Greg Lovell. Denny Carroll's going to try that bottom groove. He's got Randy Waugh. We know those two guys will look each other out. For whatever reason, they started racing in my team, and ever since they did that, these guys have been working together, and they just seem to always find each other and try to push each other to the front.
See, I find that interesting by Balzer to choose to start on the bottom, but then immediately move lanes.
Like Brush making a move down to the bottom. He's pulling out in front of Denny Carroll there, see if he can pull that line up. I think he was a little early on that. I mean, I get what he was trying to do, but they weren't really up to speed yet.
Yeah, so you can see he bailed on it. He might have to commit to this one.
He's going to have to, yeah, because that Brian Rasson's going to close that door. And we talk about that up here, and we make it sound like, we know exactly what we're doing, and no. I mean, it's not that easy. These guys, you see the runs coming. We're getting down to it here. They want to, position themselves a little bit further up for this last little bit of a run, and you can't do it by following nose to tail. So he saw somebody coming, thought maybe we'd have the momentum. I think a little bit of it with the damage that Denny Carroll has. And we know we've seen Randy Waugh
getting out of shape. He's okay though.
Saved it.
John Godfrey there in third place after serving those black flags too.
Yeah.
But they happened under yellow, so that's just, you know, he served it, and then everybody probably went in to pit, top up fuel or whatever, so he just stays out. Maybe he didn't need to do it. And you get up that spot. Like, I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but it kind of, you know, leans that way.
Look at the front rows there, the top 5 cars. 5 Chevrolets and 1 Ford. I don't know how much of these guys, you know, do the brand loyalty thing, but yeah, if you're a Chevy guy, you don't mess around with Fords. He's kind of outnumbered.
Yeah.
And your first other car back there would be Doug Hillick in the Toyota. Not too many of those in the field tonight. Notice like Ulysses Sandoval's not here. Garland Oaks, they usually are here.
Yeah, it might have been pretty close to a knockout situation if all those guys had shown up, like Sullins, Palmer.
Yep.
You know.
It's just ones that I keep remembering. Ooh.
Yeah, yellow's up. Oh, wow, McCarthy doing a cartwheel across the top of some cars. We'll watch the race back here. We'll go back and take a look at that. He might have actually spiraled over a couple people.
Well, you don't see Greg Lovell pulling out to try to make a move. I really don't know if he has a car that can do that. It's pretty beat up, so. If Greg's going to try to run the whole race season and, you know, try to go for a championship, sometimes in a scenario like this, you know, you would really want to go out there and, you know, you want to win the first race, you want to set precedent for the rest of the season, but, you know, when your car's beat up like that, it's running really, really well behind Nate Balzer. You might just want to say, I'm going to let him keep pulling me around. Not to say that he won't make an attempt for it when it comes down to it, coming to the checkered flag, but right now he's pretty safe where he is. The car's running good right there. I think if he tries to pull out, it might be too much of a parachute.
Well, it was a big checkup and people had nowhere to go. Unfortunately, Brian got into Dennis. We might have to take a view from the 74 on that one. Because the view from the 74 will show the 024 flying over top of him here. We'll put it in slow motion so we can actually focus on it.
I think Dennis McCarthy was on a merry-go-round there.
Yeah, he like a discus flying through the air here.
Spinning.
It just goes over Robert Spring. Oh, man. At least he kept the wheels on the ground for a little while anyway. Didn't get upside down. Wolf involved in that.
Might help damage-wise other than that he backed it into the fence there pretty good, so.
Oh, wait, was there a secondary on that one? Wolf might have slid down the track and got hit again.
Nate Balzer,
Oh, no, they missed it.
Greg Lovell, John Godfrey, Billy Elliser, Ryan O'Sound, and Doug Hillick. They all stayed out. We knew they probably would. We got 10 laps left to go. He's still, pace car lights are still on. Pretty
Lamas
sure
coming into the pits.
They'll be coming out. They'll probably go off this time by, and we'll have about an 8-lap run. Should it go green?
6-2 final. Panthers over the Leafs. I'm guessing that 6th goal was probably an empty netter.
Probably an empty net.
Oh, an empty netter, yeah. They always try to pull the goalie at that last-ditch rally, right? But
okay.
It's a free. They'll pull the goalie, get the 6th skater.
Never watched a hockey game, so.
Oh, no? Yeah, so you got 5 skaters and a goalie. And when you're down, or whenever you want to, actually, you can pull your goalie and get a 6th skater on the ice. The goalie goes to the bench, and then, a player jumps out. So you'll see that happen on, like, a delayed penalty. Like, if the Leafs slash a guy, the whistle won't blow until the Leafs get the puck back. So you'll see the Florida goalie run for the bench, get 6 skaters on the ice, get a little power play. If you can keep the puck away from the other team, they're never going to blow the whistle. And then once they get the puck back, they blow the whistle, they put the guy in the penalty box, and then they got 2 minutes. So what'll happen when you're losing in the third period, or at the end of a period when you're running out of time, you'll see the team that's losing will pull the goalie, get the extra skater out there and try to get one. Problem is, net's empty. So Florida got the puck, probably just tossed a long bomb, free goal, 6-2, game over.
Yeah. So,
You know,
Brian
goalies have
Wolf-
actually scored because of that too. Goalies have scored. They'll take a shot at the empty net and hit it.
Ryan Wolf, Dennis McCarthy, of course, you know,
Oh, yeah,
he was
we
just
raced.
showing. He was showing us his flying acrobatics there. And Bobby Farrell all came down pit road.
Right.
Farrell and McCarthy, I think he's been down earlier, just fuel only. Ryan Wolf came down 4 tires fuel. Probably a little damage repair because the back of the car looks pretty beat up.
Oh, they left the Wolfmobile here, the TARNATION TV car. They actually left the bumper behind, as you can see there. I was wondering if they were going to chop that, because when he got involved with McCarthy there, he came down the track, slid across the grass, and hit the wall pretty hard, got some bad rear end damage. So you'll see that they bring out the Sawzall, they cut that trunk lid off, and that is also littering, so he will get a 6-lap penalty for littering. That'd be funny if that was a thing.
I almost wish that, I know it would hog up a lot of bandwidth and stuff, but it'd almost be kind of cool if they had the pit crew come out for every car. So when you're in the car,
The
and pull
animation,
in, you
yeah.
see your pit crew.
Yeah.
You don't see anybody else's.
That would be neat.
Yeah.
I mean, I
That was-
understand when the game was built back in the day, maybe it just saves some cycles, right? They don't want to kill
Yeah,
anybody's
because
computer, but we
then,
can
you know-
handle it now. Like, it would be cool to see all the pit crews running over the wall.
We weren't running the game on computers like we are now.
No.
Surprised to see the lights did not go off on the Pates car, but of course there again we do have we do. We have one car technically a lap down. That's probably why. That would
Yeah,
be Tim
and we
Tim
don't.
Ayers, but he doesn't. He's not in.
Yeah.
So, but it still thinks that there's another car out. There's a car out a lap down. So adds one more lap to it.
Yeah, and they might. I mean, we're going green before the race is done. They may have used. Do they run a modified executable here to be able to take the yellow off?
Think so, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, if they do, they would probably do that if it was tighter, want to end under green. I think that happens with Tim Anderson. He's retired from a couple of races, and I've seen like it still says that he's running. So he's
Right, yeah.
43 laps down, and he's being billed as running. But when I click on my player list, and I go click on Tim Anderson, you can see my mouse there. It just defaults to nothing because he's not here.
As we say before, the lights are off on the pace car now. We got Nate Balzer leading, Greg Lovell on the outside, John Godfrey. Wouldn't that be something to see John Godfrey pull this off tonight? It'd be awesome. Billy Elliser, Ryan Rasson, Doug Hillick, Perry Bond, and Danny Carroll's your top 8. And then Dante Ricky and Randy Waugh, 10th. And then we got Ken Roberts, and I'm trying to find out who's behind him, and that would be Mike Rush. Side, I should say. Seen some pretty beat up cars out there, but we still got some guys that are running really good.
Perhaps not over till it's over.
Another thing with this Min's Cup car, you can pretty much tell that Rodney Sellens has painted him because he does the rear deck lid black. It's something else he's always done.
Rear deck. What do you mean?
The rear back bumper is always black.
Oh. Oh, is it really? Every Rodney car?
Most of the Rodney cars are black. They're black in the back.
Oh, they are. Nope. No, they're not.
Most, not all. I can tell
That one's not.
some of them.
It's not
Which
a
one
Rodney
is it?
car. But yeah, Xbox car for Bond, that's a Rodney car. Helix got one.
A lot
That
of
is
them are
interesting,
black.
though. Yeah, a lot of them are black. Yeah. You can see Randy Waz got the black. Pace car will move out of the way and we'll get this thing rolling. Lap number
Nice,
59.
even start there. I think Nate Balzer got a little bit better run once they got going. Like some of that damage that Greg Lovell's got's just going to slow him. It's kind of slowing him down. Balzer again from the bottom all the way to the top, right in front of Greg Lovell. That leaves John Godfrey down there, kind of by himself. He's got Brian Rosson back there, Perry Bond behind him, but they got to catch up to him and start pushing up to the front, or he's not going to go anywhere. Roson's just about going to get there at the end of the straightaway. And give him a little bit of a shove, and then he's going to have to back off because you don't want to push him through the corners.
Nope, not unless they're set up to take it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Most
you
of these
can
guys
push through the corner. It's the guy being pushed and needs to have the right, the right setting, the right wheel settings to be able to take that.
It's amazing how just a changing of a few settings will make it so that when somebody starts pushing, they don't spin out. And it's kind of cool.
It's all in that steering assist, and it
Yep.
seems like, oh, I'm not going to use that. That's garbage. But if you don't,
Yeah,
it is
you're-
impossible to hold on to the car,
Yep.
especially
and,
here.
and I don't like it, especially when you go to pit, because it tries to keep you on the track. But, you know, as far as that's about the only complaint about it. Out there on the track, it seems to work real well.
But then there's a cool option in the steering settings, too, to boost steering ratio
Yep.
at low speed.
Yep.
So when you're under like 40, you're able to, when you turn, it actually turns tighter. So, and it kind of negates all those settings, which is a neat little heads up play there by Papyrus.
See Mike Brush come down in front of Godfrey there. They did not really get that bottom line going. Then, of course, everybody's pretty much left Godfrey by himself down there, which is, you know, not good for Godfrey. And down about 5 laps, five laps to go.
Yep.
Nothing going on up front. They just nose to tail. I think if you're Greg Lovell, you want to go out and you want to win this thing, you're going to have to time it kind of right. I would imagine that he's going to have to try to get the proper run down the backstretch, try to get, underneath Nate or above Nate, depending on which way they decide to go. And he's got to have somebody really pushing him. Mike Brush, again, down at that bottom side, trying to make that, kind of get up to, he's, not up near the front. So he's got to start making that bottom work, or making his way towards the front if he wants to be a part of this. John Godfrey was pushing him, bailed on him, right behind Dante Ricky there.
And you got to make it happen now because there's a few laps to go. But now he's going backwards. Mike Brush in 53.
If you're Greg Lovell, Billy Elliser, you don't make your move now. You stay there. But you're keeping an eye on that rear view mirror just to make sure somebody gets a line coming. You want to make sure that you can jump out in front of it. But anybody that's from the top 8 back, and you have aspirations to try to win this thing, you need to start making your moves now. Get yourself up there in that top 5, top 6, maybe even higher, so that you can be there when they get down there. 3 laps to go.
Yeah, if they can start a strong second lane, either low or high, now you could make it to the front.
Yeah, the other problem you have too is Nate Balzer, any of them guys up there, Doug Hillick, Denny Carroll for that matter. They're not up front, but as soon as another line forms, if that's coming good enough, they're going to go out there. They're going to try to get in front of it. But then again, everybody in front of them is going to try to do the same thing. So now we're getting at the point where you're going to see, Nate Balzer's really looking out of that rearview mirror and figuring out where everybody's going to go and trying to just keep them behind him. And
we've seen Nate throw some gnarly blocks in the past, so it's going to be hard to get around that 79 if you're Greg Lovell in the 880.
The question is, you can see Lovell, you can see Billy Elliser, you can see, Danny Carroll. They've all got a little bit of damage. I know everybody's been involved in an accident in some way, shape, or form, but Balzer's car looks really good all the way around. So next question is, even if 3 of those guys were to gang up, could they even get to him, get past him, just with the damage they have?
I wonder if there's a couple cars that maybe don't have damage. We'd have to go through all those replays to find them.
I think like Robert Spring made it through that earlier wreck, but didn't make it through the later one. So,
I mean, these guys are up here running top speed right now. But there's no way the
196.
cars are clean.
Two to go.
Number 65, yeah. Coming around the white flag. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Yeah. Screen goes black. Wait,
Yeah.
what happened?
This concludes our broadcast day. Shh. Static.
Yeah. Hillock's looking.
He's looking, yeah.
But you can see Nate Balzer was also peeking out there. He saw somebody's nose come out. He peeks out. You can see how he's doing that. As soon as somebody peeks out, he's moving over a little bit. He can't see out of that rearview mirror all that well because of the, having Brian Level right behind him. Greg Level, sorry, right behind him. So when somebody peeks out, you see him poking out a little bit. He's just looking to see who it is.
Oh,
Is Hillock out? Almost.
Oh, Godfrey got spun around.
Oh, no.
White flag in the
White
air. We're
flag
racing
is
for
out.
it. Somebody go
boy.
with Hewlett? Maybe.
Now, is Greg Lovell going to stay there, or is he going to try to go? Comes Doug Hillock trying.
Yeah, these three guys in the back got to see if they can railroad these three guys in the front. Oh, they
Ken
went
Roberts
high.
looks like he's going to stay right with Denny Carroll there. Balzer goes to the bottom. Smart move. They can't get underneath you if you're all the way to the bottom of the track.
Yep, it looks like they might just settle with what they got.
Let's say, don't go too far, Billy.
Balzer again driving out the rearview mirror. He's going to take it.
Very nice.
1, 2, 3. Balzer, Lovell, and Ellisor.
Yep.
Great
I
run.
had to see Billy Ellisor get up there in the third
Yeah,
spot.
podium
That's pretty
finish.
cool. Yep. Oof.
What was that?
Pace car always. I tell you, I don't know how many times I've been surprised by that pace car when it goes through you.
Yeah.
Not paying attention, you pull over for a caution, waiting on the pace car in front of people. You're looking at what them guys are doing. You don't, you just want to make sure you're not going to hit anybody, and all of a sudden the pace car goes right through you. Whoa! What was that?
Yeah.
There you go. You got Nate Balzer winning race number 1. Now, we know we'd have to look here. Did he get the most laps led for the night, too? Yes, he did.
Yep,
So,
18.
he's definitely going to be your points leader.
Cody Lamas had 15, and Greg Lovell, Cody Lamas, who actually finished in 13th, had 15 laps led. And Greg, who finished in second, had 13 laps led.
Look at the fastest lap for the night. That would be by Robert Spring. 199.869 miles an hour. I wish that would give you, what lap. That happened.
You could throw it through a replay analyzer and it would show you. But I've never used it, so. That was part of the factoids for Bob Dixon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He'd be like, on lap 16, we had a 155 mile an hour lap. He'd tell you exactly when it happened.
Yep.
Oh, that was a quick burnout.
So Nate's done
Rewind
burning
that.
them down. Let's go see if we can find Billy Ellisor. Billy Ellisor, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. Do you have a copy? Uh-oh. Did we lose Billy? He might have had to step away for a minute.
That's a possibility.
Yeah. We know that to happen every once in a while. Let's see. Well, we can hold off on Billy, and let's see if we can get Greg Lovell down here.
Something.
Greg Lovell, you got Rod Blaine. And we got Billy in here, but he's not back yet, so good run for you. Oh, there he is.
Hey, what's up, guys?
We tried to interview Billy, but he was not talking, so.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
That's okay. That's okay. You're going to have to wait a second, Greg, okay?
Okay.
I can be quiet and let him talk first.
Okay. All right, Billy. You got dug out the old Coors Light Chevrolet tonight. Normally you run a Dodge, but managed to work your way up into a third place finish tonight. Stayed out of some of that turmoil tonight.
Yeah, I had a hot rod tonight, bud.
Yeah, you did. I know everybody got involved in an accident at least once tonight. I mean, that first big one there, which was the strangest thing. We're going to be talking to Greg about that too. But the whole field started it back in the third row. And the weirdest thing, we watched the replay of it when Terry Bavant's car came across the field, hit Mangialardi's car, and it just threw it towards the front. That was the strangest thing. Everybody involved in that. How was your car after that? I don't know if you got really in the big part of that part of the race, Billy, or not.
I was far enough back that I seen it all happen, so I slowed down.
Cool. That paid big dividends for you coming out there and finishing third. That means that you should. I would, by my accounts, that should get you a third in points too.
Yeah, how about that? The old man ain't dead yet.
Oh heck no! You even got a lap led tonight, which is awesome. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so too.
Lane, you hiding there? Or are you playing?
Oh, I just mute myself because I'm typing and you don't like my keyboard.
Well, I was wondering if you had any questions for Billy.
No, man, awesome race. We always, I mean, the wrecks today were insane. There wasn't really a small accident, but yeah. So were you able to avoid all damage?
I may have had some, but I don't think so.
Yeah, we
That's
figured
pretty cool.
the guys up front, even if you did have some, it was probably minimal.
Yeah, it was minimal. Yeah.
Nice.
Coming down to it there, I thought for a minute that maybe you were going to try to make a move out there, and I see Doug Hillick kind of dug down underneath you, and you said, no, I think I'll stay right where I'm at. Third place would be better than probably sixth. So
I agree with that. Yeah.
So, Greg, while you're here, you got a question for Billy?
No, I just want to appreciate, thank him for staying with us.
Oh man, I wasn't going anywhere. I was right behind you guys.
Yeah, I know you. I figured you was going to just stay where you was at. You're a good pusher, and you always, if you're behind somebody at the end, you always help them. So I figured you would.
Now what you need to do now, Billy, is you need to get ahead of Greg and then get him to stay behind you.
I will. I will. He's ever in front of me.
I think he will too. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Greg's a great Superspeedway racer, and he's a good guy to have behind you. So, all right, Billy. Well, we appreciate congratulations on your third place finish. I'm glad you did so well tonight, and we'll give you the opportunity to thank anybody you'd like to thank. So the floor is yours.
No, just appreciate everybody that showed up, and thanks for the racing, guys.
All right, there you go. Third place for the night, Billy Ellis, sir. Keep up the good work, bud. Let's see you go out there and get this championship, all right?
I'm going. I'll see you guys.
All right,
thanks,
buddy.
Billy.
Good job.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Level, you there?
Yep.
Of course we know he's there. You led a few. You got up there, run most of the night up there. You got involved in that. I tell you, it was a freak wreck. It happened through the third row back. You were in the front row. Yep, running 3 wide, front row, up front. And like we said, I can't remember who it was. Somebody just tapped the back of Dennis McCarthy, got him in the fence. That, when he come off the fence, right out in front of him, hit Terry Bombard. Terry Bombard's car went across the track. It hit Mike Mangialardi, and it was almost like Mangialardi hit the NOS. And I mean, it literally just launched him forward right into Ken Roberts, right into you, and then everybody. That was a pretty bad wreck, and I noticed that the back of your car was pretty well damaged up.
Yeah, I had back end damage. My trunk lid was just open just a little bit. They fixed it when I went to pits, but it was still had a crack in it where you could see in it. But my nose of my car was fine. As long as you don't get nose damage, you're fine.
Well,
if you get nose damage, you're in trouble.
I could see from the infield through the back of your car, underneath the rear panel, and out the other side of the track. There was like the fenders, the bottom of the rear bumper was hardly even held on by anything.
I didn't see that on my side.
But it was, at least it worked out for you. I know you didn't really make too much of a championship opportunity to try to go out and win this. Do you think that damage even though, like you said, the front was good, if you had enough people pushing you, or the right people pushing you, you think you could have gone, or were you just kind of content with the fact that if I go out, I might go further back and just take the second place finish?
No, I could have went. My car was fast. I told Nate I was going to stay with him. If I tell you I'm going to stay with you, I'm going to stay with you.
That much I do know that about you. So, now, are you going to be here every Saturday and try to go for the championship?
Oh, yeah.
Very cool. We've seen some amazing saves from you back when we did the IPES Excellence Series. We were doing that and watched you get tagged in the middle of the triangle by Denny Carroll and save it. Not an intentional, obviously just a bump draft gone bad. And you're a really, really good super speedway racer. So, and looking forward to see what you can do and see if you can come out here and maybe dominate this and take a championship.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna try, man. We all have good luck and bad lucks. Week in and week out. You just never know what's going to happen. You just gotta hope when you slow down for wrecks, somebody don't hit you in the back, and just hope you don't get caught up in something, and hope you don't, hope you don't blow up during the race, because all it takes is one bad finish, man. That. I mean, that's all it takes is one bad finish. Finish 30th, and I mean that's a lot to come back from.
Absolutely. So, Blaine, do you have any questions for Greg Level?
I always ask if you're a fan, more of a fan of this style of points where they just track race one straight to the last lap of the last race and that's it, or playoff knockout.
I do not like playoffs. I would just rather whoever's got the most points at the end. I think that's how everybody should do it. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd rather see a regular points race than stage racing and all that. I
just don't think it's fair.
Yeah.
For somebody to have a 50-point lead and it get took from them, and then the points reset, and then you race 3 races or 4 races or 5 races or whatever. I just think if you race 10 races or 12 or 14 or whatever you're going to race for that season, I think whoever's got the points lead at the end should be the winner. I mean, you shouldn't lose your points.
And then if you have a season like you said, and then you go out there and you're one of the 4 drivers and just have something happen that's out of your control that you can't, get taken out of the last race and take away your chance at a championship, although, you've been the dominant car all year, and it's just lose out by one small mistake of the last race and you don't get the championship.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah.
That's part of racing.
Yeah, I think it's cool that we have all the options. That's cool that every league operates a little bit differently, but I'm always leaned at this one, this style of sure, the guy clinches with 3 to go, cool. Maybe nobody shows up for the last couple of races, but may the best man win, right?
Yeah, I mean, guys, it can happen to all of us.
Yep.
Everybody on this track racing. It can happen to us all. So none of us are safe. You know what I mean? I mean, we're all into crosshairs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just what it is. It's part of the game and part of, the headache of it, but I still love it.
We're gonna have to train him, Blaine. He said game. It's a simulator, so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations on your second place finish, bud, and hopefully you keep it up, and we'll give you the chance to thank anybody you'd like to thank. So the floor is yours.
Well, Nate's my buddy, so I had to stay with him. I mean, I'm not gonna pass Nate, man, if I'm behind him ever for a win. I mean, he wouldn't me either. So, I mean, I have known Nate for 20 some years, at least 20. And there's, if I'm behind him, I'm staying with him, and he would me. I know he would. So there's no way I was going to pass him, no way. But I'd like to thank Ken for the series and all the admins. I think Brian was an admin, and I'd like to thank HUD for the league, and you guys for what y'all do. Come over here and broadcasting for them, and doing a good job, and you know, this is what it's all about, guys. Is just having fun.
There you go. Second place finisher, going to be second in points. Now going into next week, then we can talk points next week. That's awesome. So congratulations on your second place finish, and we'll see you next week. Well, next week is we got the ASL race, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you might still be a part of that. Yeah, but I'm just saying we'll be in a couple of weeks. Then we'll see you back here, and hopefully you can continue on the good fortune for this series. So good job, bud.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
All right. Nate Balls, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. Do you got a copy?
I got a copy.
Where did that come from, buddy?
Boy, I don't know. You know, I was a little bit worried a little early on there. We got caught in that big one. My front end hit the wall, got tagged by a couple of cars, and I thought I was going to be done. Then when I went in the pits, it said no adjustments needed. And I got into the draft, and it was running top notch. So I said, hey, let's see what we can do.
We were wondering about that. I mean, if you sat down and watched the replay when we were up here doing this live, that incident where it literally didn't miss a car, and it's hard to see, you know, who, what, where. We knew some of the big players that were involved in it, but you know, didn't know how many of them had damage. We were questioning, you know, we could see the damage on Greg Lovell's car. We could see the damage on Billy Ellis's car. You know, they had a little bit of but damage that you could see. Your car looked pretty darn good. I thought maybe you'd get out there, just kind of pull away from him, but luckily you had you know, Greg behind you, and Greg was committed to stay with you, which there's nothing wrong with that. And you know, Billy Elliser was back there. He poked, he looked, but I think he was used the smarter decision and said, no, I got a podium finish if I stay right here. So that's a pretty good race for you.
Yeah, and to go off what Greg was saying, if I was behind Greg, I would have not moved either. I've raced with him for over 2 decades, and championship or coming in second, third, whatever, I would stay behind Greg. He's absolutely correct, and I would give him the same honor.
It's nice to have people like that when you're racing in this kind of a series where you know, you go out there and win. Yeah, you were wheeling that car. You got yourself up front there. You did a great job doing it. But you can't do it without some friends. So when you have people like that you trust, trust to be behind you, trust to be in front of you, and you know that you guys are just gonna stay together. Get you guys all up front, and then just finish the way you finish. That makes it a lot easier for you to race.
Yeah, it sure does, because you're not going to win every single race, but if you got some guys that you run with, and you want to keep that, they know they can count on you, you can count on them, and if you can just keep that in mind, know that you're not going to win every race, but you're going to have a good run with the guys that are going to hang with you and the guys you hang with, and that's a really, really big part of the whole thing.
And we've only done through 1 season of this, and I think we only had, out of 10 races last year, we had 2 drivers. I think Cody won 2 races, and I'm not sure. I don't think we had too many multiple-time drivers. So you're correct in that. I mean, it's hard to win these. It's a lot of strategy, a lot of you just got to make the right moves and miss some of the accidents if they do happen, and get yourself out there. And you're correct; they're hard to win. So when you get one, you chalk that up and keep going. And I can see like next week, if Greg Lovell's in front of you, you're still going to be right up there in the points because you're going to be in second. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
There you go.
If I can keep in that spot, keep in the top 5 or at least the top 10 for a while, that's pretty good. I mean, even if you don't get a championship, if you finish up there somewhere in the top 5, you did a pretty decent job. Stayed out of trouble and didn't wreck anyone, which is most important. So that's good. But we'll see what we can do for the championship too.
So the one question I'm going to ask for, let Blaine ask. What kind of wheel do you use with your online racing?
I use the G920, and believe me, I've tried them all. I've tried the 923. I ran the G27 for like ever.
Yep.
And the G29, I've tried that. Nothing to me, in my personal opinion, comes close to the G920. It just, the calibration is just perfect, dead on. And I figured out how to adjust it within the game. There was a thing back with drivers where they cut support for the game. I kind of figured out that you don't have to go back to an old driver. It's just some settings in the game and some settings in the wheel, and it makes it perfect. I would never ever use another wheel besides this. For me, this works. The other wheels for other people, sure, but this is the one for me. G920.
I've seen a lot of people, they run different wheels, and it's funny because I can remember back in the old Momo days, you know, when the Momo was the wheel to have, and you just go to this website, download this, you go in, you change your settings, and that gave you a perfect base model to go from, and then from there, like you said, you know, just subtle tweaks and whatever, just to get it to where you liked it. So that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I'm extremely pleased. Yeah, I had the Momo. I went through that. Then the G25, went through that, and I've probably gone through wheeling the races over the year, probably 3 927s that I've worn out.
Yep.
Wow.
I believe that. There's a Momo right at my feet, and there's another one right behind me.
So did Momo make their own wheels, or because I have one that's in cahoots
It was
with
a
Logitech.
Momo.
Okay, so
It was
I
a
have the
Logitech
same.
wheel. It was, you know, back, we're talking way back, before they get all these fancy 4-speed back, high Newton meter wheels. Yeah. But, Lane, do you have a question for Nate?
I want to thank your whole entire crew for watching this thing online. We had Katarina in there, and I believe it was Angela as well with is the A Balzer too? Who's that?
That's Angela, my wife.
It is, okay, because I thought she had a different username before. I thought it was straight up just Angela, but either way, we had a bunch of Balzer action in the YouTube channel today, so that was cool.
I appreciate them so much. They're really great supporters, and we have this agreement that there's a couple of appliances in the kitchen that you can't use during the race because it blacks out this entire room if you have like the microwave on with a coffee pot. It's funny. Everything in this room goes dead, so we all know that you use those.
So you have to have like a flashing red light above the door, like they would at a radio station, on air, which is like, do not
get
use.
Off the internet.
Yeah, do not use
much.
any appliances in this room.
In race.
Yeah.
So we had to figure that one out.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know what you do to figure that one out? Call an electrician.
Yeah.
That would be smart.
Fix the fuse box.
Nate, you got to have like a fuse panel right beside your wheel. And so when you sit down, you just reach over and you go click, and it shuts the rest of the house down, and you got everything you need.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nobody can touch it. I got the master.
Well, I have a buddy who's a legendary electrician, right? And one day I'm sitting here at the computer, my computer shuts off, and I'm like, cool. So a surge came through and popped something in my computer. I'm like, oh no, is it a hard drive? Is it a motherboard, resistors? It could have been anything. It was the power supply, thank God, because it's like $60-$70 to just replace that.
Oh yeah.
And he came in and checked the outlet because I have all my stuff plugged into a UPS, so it's supposed to regulate power. Problem is, I didn't notice that the bad ground light was on, so the plug wasn't grounded. So he came in and fixed the plug. So I'm like, now the dryer, the stove, and that outlet are the only 3 in the entire house that are grounded properly. But the rest of them, we don't have a 3-prong. You know, it's TVs. You don't need all that stuff. But it's an old house, right? So slowly, get through it. But
I had a similar thing happen, but it was with a power strip where it was falling off the table, and I went to reach for it, and the computer was plugged into it.
Just like a
month. When I reached for it, it shut everything down, and Windows never came back up.
Yeah, who wants to be in top 5 or leading the race and everything goes blank?
Yeah. Who wants some popcorn, Dad? Fire up the microwave. No. No.
All right, Nate, we're getting carried away here. So I'm going to give you a chance to, thank anybody, the family that are all on there supporting you and, whatnot. The floor is yours, my friend.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, again, just thank my wife and my daughters. They're always there. They put up with me. They tolerate me and the racing. And I'm very grateful, and I'm thankful, and I'm very blessed. And I thank you, everybody at Nation TV. You guys are just the bomb. And Bryant Motorsports and everybody at ASR Racing, thank you from my heart.
Well, there you go. Our race winner, points leader, going into next 2 weeks. We come back, and hopefully you can keep that good momentum up and maybe get yourself a championship at the end of this. So good luck, bud.
Sounds good. We'll see you at the ASR race or Kelly Cosby's race.
ALS. Yeah.
ALS. Thank you, guys.
All right, see you later, Nate. Good one.
Later.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. Good race.
Yeah, very good race. Some weird crashes. I mean, you've been over here and seen a few wrecks with these guys, but that one wreck is just going to haunt me for a few days to thinking about how how that car, Mangialetti's car just got launched forward the way it did and took out the 6 cars in front of them is just so strange. It's
just an anomaly, right? Yeah. Bombard got snapped around fast enough that it launched Mangialetti forward and then just hooked everybody in front of him. It's like just threw the lasso around them and just pulled them all with them. And it was like, I think every single vehicle is involved in this accident. Like, we've done a lot of broadcasts, and every once in a while we get a new one.
Yeah, not everybody was involved. It was, like we showed, there was a few drivers that just stopped.
Yeah.
And that was the smart thing to do. Some of them guys made it through that one okay. Unfortunately, some of them, when it got to the next one or two, didn't. We saw some great racing too. I mean, it wasn't a lot of cautions, but when they were big.
That one too, I never even thought of that. Yeah, you being able to stop, because where it happened, that's where it widens back out to 50 lanes wide after the pit exit. So literally, you could have just driven anywhere to avoid it and just kind of wait for the dust to settle. So if it could have happened somewhere on the track, for those guys in the back, they had lots of options to just park it. But yeah, man, the race itself too, crazy good race. We only had 3 or 4 yellows?
Yeah, and like I said,
check the thing here.
Talk about it. I
6.
mean, I don't like running the bottom, but the bottom is the safest place because for the first part of an accident, because everybody goes to the outside, but then they come back down. I'd rather be on the high side, but then again, everybody comes up and says hi to you into the fence. So where it's a safe place to be sometimes, right up in the booth where we are.
Yeah, exactly. We get the bird's eye view of everything, and we can put it in slow motion and watch it at all different angles.
Absolutely.
But as always, I guess, we're done. This is a 2-hour and 30-minute broadcast this evening. It was a great race. Thanks again to Bryant Motorsports Auto Sales for sponsoring the gig. Thanks to ASR for showing interest in the TARNATION TV product. Of course, congratulations to Nate, Greg, and Billy on their podium finish. Everybody in the YouTube for watching live and interacting. And if you watch it later on the rerun, that's also greatly appreciated. Any subscriptions and thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you want to do. The fact that anybody cares, it's pretty awesome. So, as always, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.